Okay.
What'd you say?
You still didn't tell me where the van was.
What are you singing?
That Belle Biv DeVoe song.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, wait. Now do it. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
We're live. I just had it on something else. So we're going live. All right. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. We is in the house. Literally, we's in the house. Literally, you know, in the house. Okay. I'm sore.
See, that's wait a minute. Something's wrong with my mic. I don't hear me.
Oh, please, God. I hear you.
You hear me?
Stop. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Make sure that this cord's pushed in all the way. That would be the side that has the cord in it. No. Pause. Sometimes, Nerdy, you are just too smart for your own good. See this cord? This cord, push it all the way in. This went on yesterday with Denise. It was unplugged over there, and she's going, I can't hear it. I said, plug it in, and she did what you did. She reaches for all these other wires, and I'm like, the wire that plugs into the headphones.
But usually I hear myself.
I can turn it up.
Oh, okay. Good morning, everybody.
Am I loud enough?
Yeah, you're loud enough.
Okay.
Because you're the loud man.
Okay, so watch this. Keep talking.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep talking, but I still don't hear myself. Oh, there I am.
Right. You know why? Because you laid out yesterday.
I
so
did
that
not
means somebody else
out.
sat in that seat.
I did not lay out. You know, Tuesdays and Wednesdays I have to homeschool.
Well,
don't play.
Okay, so
don't play.
Let me get my thesaurus. Were you here yesterday?
No.
You laid out yesterday.
That is not laying out.
What is the difference? Were you here?
The difference is.
Were you here yesterday?
The difference.
Hold, please. This is like core. It's real simple. It's definitely black and white. Were you here yesterday?
No, I was not here.
Yes or no? Were you here yesterday?
No.
Are you here today?
Yes.
Bam! You laid out yesterday.
No, but laying out implies like that I just didn't come into work because I called Nookie.
Wait. Did you come in yesterday?
No.
Okay, so then you didn't come into work yesterday.
But it's a scheduled off day.
It don't matter. I'm scheduled to take a poop after coffee, but that didn't happen today.
Because you don't have coffee.
I already had it this morning.
Oh.
I woke up at like 5:58. I was like, oh my God, I needed to be up already.
You woke up that early so that you could get dressed for me? That's so sweet.
Yeah, you just seen me go in there and change. For those of y'all that don't know, I'm like Mr. Rogers. Like, I will come down here in whatever I slept in. Well, I wake up in whatever shorts I slept in, of course. I grab whatever shirt I took off the night before that's on the dresser. I put it on. I go get my coffee. I come down here. I get everything ready. And then right before camera comes on, I go, oh, crap. And I walk straight to the other end of this room, into my laundry room, where I have a rack of black shirts. I just put on another black shirt and I'll walk right back out here.
See, I was just answering a text about the video. Jacob says, where's the video today? And I was like, he goes, never mind. I see it now. I said, yes, that white man that I work with is being slow this morning. I love you.
So are you insinuating white people slow? Is that where you're going with this?
No.
You lay out of work yesterday because you didn't want to be here.
I homeschool. I homeschool on Wednesdays.
Oh, yes. Listen to Little Richard. Little Richard's first is, morning just for funners. Secondly, Mr. Roger dresses for the camera. If I was to do that in front of the camera, it would be Dodger, because I'd be dodging the camera. There's no way I would want this. I don't even want to sound like Mike and call it a sexy beast, because we know that's a lie. I have enough problems with getting this water heater fixed. I don't need lightning damage on the house.
Well, see, and I keep trying to explain to you, Scotty, you are an electrician, not a plumber. Water and electricity don't go well together.
When it comes to laying pipe, I can do either one. But that sounded 10
electricians
times worse.
Don't lay pipe. They lay wires.
No. Woman, where do you think the wires go most of the time?
In the
pipes.
In the wall. No, they don't. They go in the walls.
Sometimes, like I said earlier, sometimes you're too smart for your own good. You overthink things. Okay. Do you think when concrete gets poured, the wires just get magically shoved into the concrete?
No, they go into the open areas of the walls. They don't go into the concrete.
As long as the car runs when you turn the keys, all you know, right?
Well, no, I mean, other things have to happen for the car to run.
Okay. So how do you think the wires get to the walls?
Well, the electrician puts them in, of course.
And how do you think the wire gets there?
Well, the electrician comes and puts it
In a conduit, which is pipe.
Bingo. Okay, that's right. That's right.
Good Lord.
What?
And you got a doctorate in what? Freaking Legos?
I have 2, thank you.
Yeah. She's a doctor of Legoland.
I am not a doctor in Legoland. Although yesterday I did feel like I was a doctor in Legoland because I had the 4-year-old class yesterday.
Well, trust me, you came acting the same way. I can tell. Mike should be here. You can teach him a few things.
No, okay, so y'all, let me tell you the story of when I arrived to the studio this morning. So usually when I pull up, the Just for Fun radio van is in the driveway. Usually in the mornings, Crystal always sends me a text and says, "Good morning," or something like that. You know, we have a brief text exchange. So this morning, none of that happened. And I pull into the driveway and I'm like, well, you know, maybe the van is just somewhere else. And I start walking down the walkway and the gate is open. And I'm like, oh no, I saw this on a movie. Let me go back to my car and call somebody.
This is the same girl that rode in somebody else's car down a dirt road to a building full of Confederate flags hanging on the front. And that didn't even raise a red flag with you. Red flag, Confederate flags. That's funny. But you were willing to go in a car with a bunch of white folks down a gravel dirt road because to a building with Confederate flags. And then you won't question that. But you'll question my van not being in the driveway, and you will question a gate being open.
Because it's out of character.
And you in the back of a car with a bunch of white folks in Monroe going down a dirt road to a Confederate flag building is not out of character.
No, no,
not at all.
I mean,
I love the sound of Dixie in the morning. What the hell? So the dude in the white sheet holding a noose, what was that? Nothing? Oh, there was a guy in a white sheet with a noose. I didn't even notice. I was looking at the door that was ajar. It looked out of character. Yeah, but it was the dude standing in the doorway with the Klan uniform on with the noose. That might have been the problem. Well, no, it was more the door. The door shouldn't have been open. It was a hot day. Oh, my God. I swear I'm going to play white and nerdy in just a few minutes.
I was just thinking that, okay, well, maybe I need to go back to the car because if I'm walking into an active crime scene, I don't need to disturb it. I need to find out where my people are.
Crime scene. Yeah, if it was an active crime scene, there'd be blood everywhere.
Not necessarily.
Jesus Christ, I got a sawed off 12 gauge. If somebody would have walked out of here, there would have been blood everywhere.
Well, you know, but I was like, let me go back to the car and call my people and see where my people are.
So as I'm just so happens I was kicking the mic on and she's calling and I'm thinking, I'm going to be late. She goes, where's the van? I'm like, click. I just hung up. Because I'm thinking, if you see there's no van here, that means you're already on the property and you're wasting moments to dial my phone when you could just, I've already walked on in, you know.
The gate was open, so then then he has to call me back because I'm still sitting there. And
now I'm wondering why the hell you're not in the house.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not coming in. I was like, the gate's open. He's like, come inside. I'm like, okay.
Jesus.
But you know, I think we all need a friend like me, so that you know when something is out of place, we kind of raise a red flag. You
know why we all need a friend like you?
Why?
Because no matter how stupid we feel, there's always somebody that can make us feel better about ourselves.
So are you calling me stupid?
No, I'm saying when I feel stupid, I can just hang out with you.
But then you're calling me stupid.
I'm not calling you that.
But that's what it sounds like.
Well, you go down gravel roads with people to Confederate flags and stuff. You just got it wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, Scotty, I ride with my friends all the time. I mean,
I know. I drive Miss Lazy all the time. Just for fun.
Happy Freaky Friday to you.
It's
okay.
not okay.
Are you off
I'm a day
tomorrow?
early. I know.
Oh,
I'm a day early.
Well, you're like 4 days late on
Well,
calling
I
us.
heard you. Oh, dude, I've been up here in North Kakalaki all week. The one day I got a chance to listen to you, Monday, you weren't doing your show.
Huh?
Took off, came up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was a vacay day.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Too bad my water heater didn't go out that day.
No doubt, dude. Yeah, so I've been up here, took off, left my speaker at home, and that's when I'm in the showroom, I have my speaker with me so I can listen to you. So, and plus, I just been busy as I'll get out. So I heard you say something about no matter how stupid I was, I could always make y'all feel better. So I figured I'd call in.
Yeah, see, I was talking about Jeff. You just sitting there thinking I'm thinking about you or something. I don't know.
you know, you break my heart, Scotty.
Whatever.
I'm gonna need.
You're gonna need
counseling.
some therapy.
So-
Trust me, chick. You need therapy on some other stuff, not just because of me. I mean, you're eating tofu. I mean, come on. You need some therapy. You need some Popeye's chicken.
No, that's fried and it's greasy.
I could care less what it is. You need something.
No, I don't.
I bet your digestional tract would like go into shock if you had to eat like a McDonald's hamburger.
Oh my, yes, it would. Oh my gosh.
She went from smiling to serious. Yeah, I would.
Well, you know, this road trip that we've got coming up tomorrow, I've actually started mapping out non-McDonald's restaurants for us.
Okay, so I need to take you to like Quick Trip, make you eat a hot dog.
Oh
from
no,
Quick Trip.
don't mess up my tummy like that.
Actually, hot dogs from
roller
Quick Trip
food
are good.
best. Yeah, roller food's the best in the world when you get a hangover too. So
Yeah, but hopefully
not that I got one. I'm just saying.
I was getting ready to say,
Right.
hopefully you don't have one.
Not today.
Not today.
Not me.
Wow.
I don't get hangovers anymore.
So how do you avoid them? You stop drinking?
He's a professional now.
I'm a professional. I've learned to deal with it, and
Once he
Turn
went
it
from
to
the
my-
minor leagues to the major leagues, there was no more problems.
Well, they actually have a hangover tablet that you can take. Have you seen those?
What is that? The after sex pill?
No, you actually take it before you you take it before you get the hangover, silly. You know what?
The fact that it made her look at me and think about it for a second made it so worth saying.
I just had to call and say good morning. Finally getting to listen to your show. I've got about 10 more minutes of it before I got to load my truck today, and then I head back to Atlanta. So just want to call and say good morning.
All right, man. We've been wondering where you was at. I hadn't heard from you.
Yeah, they've just been running crazy. So I may have one more trip in New Jersey. They may add on to me again. They decided to stay open 6 more weeks.
Wow.
I may be heading up there next week. So
No doubt.
It's gonna be insane, but
Little Richard says the morning after pill would be called aspirin.
No.
usually back when I was younger, the hangover remedy was to drink a beer first thing in the morning when you woke up.
Look, no
That
lie.
usually-
I remember my brother Steven and a guy named Jeff Wallace were having to work out of town. I think they were like Macon or something. And this is when we were off Jimmy Carter Boulevard doing lighting, and we had to take care of a relamp, meaning they had to work a night shift. So when they end up going back to the hotel, they're drinking, carrying on, and it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Jeff goes to sleep. The next morning they wake up, but their morning, because they're working the night shift, their morning they wake up at like 10 o'clock, right? So they wake up, and my brother says Jeff woke up, and Jeff was an alcoholic then. I think he's cleaned his act up now, but anyways, he woke up. He leans over, grabs a Busch beer that was open and had been sitting there since 3 o'clock in the morning, wakes up, mind you, leans over, puts it in his mouth, swishes it around, swallows it. He's like, oh, man, good morning. And my brother said, dude, that nasty beer had been sitting there all night. He's like, it's okay. It's got alcohol in it.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
a freaking nasty old Busch beer to begin with. Been sitting there, from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. in a dirt
Yeah,
bag
it's pretty rough.
hotel.
Ew.
I don't think I've ever gotten that bad.
I mean, dude, if you wanted a beer first thing in the morning, just go pop another one. You got a cooler full.
Exactly.
With the nasty hot
You
one.
keep the cooler beside you at your bed.
Yeah. So anyways, well, have a good day, dude. Holler at us if anything comes up.
All righty. Y'all have a great one.
All right, see you later.
Drive safe.
Be careful.
Bye, guys.
All right. Well, we were having a moment before the show where the dang phone won't hang up. I'm telling you, I have had so much stupid stuff happen with all the
See, if you were a podcaster, you would have 50 lines and you would have a virtual studio and you could just disconnect the call. That's if you were a podcaster.
Yeah, that's if I was, catching the MARTA and riding the bus to work and, but no, I have my own car. I have my own studio. I'm just saying. If this doesn't work, I'll become a podcaster.
No, but then that completely ruins the pitch that I'm making next year for us to go to a conference together as the broadcaster and the podcaster. So you can't become a podcaster.
So anyways, before the show, we were having this semi questionable conversation, debate, not sure what you would call it. So explain to everybody, you went traveling yesterday and you had a Steffi moment. You had a redneck Steph moment.
I went, because I'm a firm believer of keep cash in Conyers when it comes to supporting local businesses, but I will not use the Walmart here in Conyers. And so I always go to either Covington or Loganville just because I feel safer. And so I'm in Loganville. I'm in the parking lot. I've gotten my hair done. I'm coming out. And, so I'm putting my phone in my bag as I'm walking out, which I know is something that you had told me not to do, to stop doing.
Just saying.
I forgot. And, it was like that moment of awareness.
You only have to forget once.
I know. So this couple walks up to me. They go, "Oh my gosh, you're the doc with DJ Scotty." And I was like, "Yeah."
And that's in Loganville.
And that's in Loganville.
Steph's had this happen multiple times in Conyers, but it's cool to see you're in Loganville to have.
Yeah, so I'm in Loganville. And I guess they had watched one of the Periscopes that we did about the drive-in Miss Lazy.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Y'all are so funny." She's like, when we were first watching it, we didn't know whether to laugh or be like, "Oh my gosh." I said, That's the purpose.
That's the best part.
And she's like, "But y'all are so funny." She's like, "Y'all have such a great relationship." And she's like, I told her, I said, "Well, be sure to listen to Ladies Talk with me and DJ Smiles." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." And she's like, I just love what y'all are doing." I'm like, "Thank you." So it was kind of cool.
And, I laugh because Steph, I kept preaching at Steph about be careful what you put on your Facebook. Once you start doing this, that Facebook page of yours, you can debate with me all you want. Because me and Steph had arguments. I mean, full-fledged arguments. And she goes, "But it's my personal page." I'm like, "Not anymore." But it's my personal page. I can put what I want. No, you can't.
No,
but yes, you could at one time. But if you're going to do this, it's no longer your personal page. You don't have a personal page anymore.
Right.
You have Steph, but you're known as Redneck Steph. So anything you say, do, reflects on me, like burping and farting on a microphone, I have to answer for that.
Right.
No matter whether you're doing it, I answer for it. So if it's your personal page and you're writing stupid stuff, I answer for it, and I'm not complaining about Steph. Steph had a couple of moments where she would have a couple of drinks back in her wilder days and post 150 pictures of her dog. And everybody the next morning would notice their Facebook's lit up with Buttercup pictures. And if you've watched the show long enough to know the thing between me and Steph and the Buttercup dog thing, it's quite funny. So people will go, "Steph must have been drunk last night. There's like 110 pictures of her damn dog." So we would have this great debate saying, "Listen, it's no longer your personal page once you blah, 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 blah." So we went through that for a while till she started realizing that once you do this, you can't go on Facebook and vent your personal crap anymore. No, you can't. And I don't direct that at Stephanie. I direct it as a whole for every one of us that work with us. You can't vent your personal crap anymore because there's so many people in your Kool-Aid. For instance, if you don't think about it, when you set a drink down on the counter, people or the table rather, people will question what you're drinking. Is that the Blue Monster? What Coke is that, or what Pop-Tart are you eating?
And lipstick. I mean,
Yes.
somebody asked me what was the shade of the MAC lipstick.
Right. So with that being said, there was one time when Steph was at the liquor store and bumped into somebody, and they were mentioning I think they saw her shirt or something along those lines, because it's been multiple times this has happened. And they start talking about Just for Fun Radio, and she says, "Oh, you listen to them?" And they're like, yeah. And then she says, "I'm Redneck Steph." And then it got a great conversation started. It happened at the Honey Creek Country Club one time with a bartender. But then she said that she was getting noticed a lot at Walmart. So then, of course, I'm making a joke. "You famous in the Walmart, girl. You one of them Walmart people. You famous." So, but the joke / reality to it, though, is once you start getting to that, means you can't scratch your ace
Without
wrong in public. And it changes things. Like, I get irritated because I keep saying the wussification of America, because I used to just be able to make jokes about anything, and now I have people raising hell about stupid stuff. Like, I made a video not too long ago, and I started to post it, and I can't even remember now if I posted it, because I questioned it about 100 times. But I'm making a reference to a previous video that I had to remove, because I'm talking about be careful, because, my brothers are out there riding their motorcycles. And then I start getting hate mail from people going, "Well, girls ride motorcycles too." No crap.
Oh, my God.
I was just simply saying, people on 4 wheels, watch out for my brothers on the 2 wheels. It was just a statement. But the problem is once you get to this point where you're in front of everybody, you can't please everybody. And it makes it a little hard sometimes because, I have to try to keep sponsors happy, and then they're looking at it from business standpoint, but then I'm having to keep people happy. And, you just screw up, make one beaner joke, everybody gets their butt hurt. And it's funny because if you look at cliques, you look at groups. Mm-hmm. So you got one group of people, one group of people, one group of people, and 4 groups out of the 5 groups think one thing's funny. And then the next day you say something that they don't think's funny, but the other 4 groups might think's funny. And it's like, I can't please them all, but it's a damn show. It's supposed to be funny. Don't take it serious.
I think I
don't take my friendship with you serious. Duh.
You better.
Not you.
Oh.
Them.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just saying, because Benny gave you the sweetest compliment.
But I bet every single person just heard that and probably reacted the same way you did. And what you don't realize is I'm the guy that has the crochet needle that will walk up behind you, and when you're trying to talk to the priest, I poke you on the side of your butt cheek just to make you go, "What?" Because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to poke you, make your eyes bulge, and you go, "Oh my God, did he just say that?" Yes. I could be worse. I could be this stupid douchebag with a ponytail. Everybody else figure that one out. But so yeah, but it's real funny. I pick on Steph. Say she was famous in the Walmart people area. But you say you went into a car lot yesterday or something.
I was up at the Nissan dealer because there's women, don't ever let them talk you into purchasing the service agreement with your car, because you end up paying way more for it than
its value
than the value. But in 2010, when I bought my Nissan brand new,
are we going to a public service announcement, or are we going to the fact that somebody recognized you?
We're going to. It's a little bit of both.
Denise, are you listening?
It's a little bit of both.
That is now we now every time that somebody tries to change the subject, we're just going to be like, "Subject."
No.
And then because it's so funny, we had people listening to the show. What's today? Thursday? So Tuesday when you weren't here, and we were on one subject talking about movies, and all of a sudden Mike takes us to government stuff. And then people are coming back to us going, get back to the movies. Like, we were lost for a couple of seconds.
No, but anyway, so I'm at the Conyers Nissan, and Conyers Nissan has been really good to me.
And that's the Nissan and Conyers.
The Nissan and Conyers. And I'm sitting there in the lobby, and this guy walks up to me, he goes, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "Doc." Well, he calls me Dr. Mabry. He goes, "Dr. Mabry." I was like, "Yeah." And so he came up and he hugged me. And he's like, "I saw you hanging out with DJ Scotty." He's like, "I've known Scotty for years." He's like, "I'm so glad you're part of Just for Fun Radio." I'm like, "You listen to Just for Fun Radio?" He's like, "Yeah," because he was just somebody that I never would have thought would have been in our listening audience.
This is why I'm glad as a podcaster, you're starting to open your eyes to the broadcasting way of things, because you're podcasting mumbo jumbo. You can see your audience numbers. With us broadcasting, you can't see your numbers. I mean, for instance, I'm complaining every day about YouTube, because YouTube on my screen right now shows me how many viewers, supposedly how many viewers we have. But the problem is, we already know that those numbers aren't accurate. People keep saying you can trace cell phones. You can't unless you're the friggin' DEA, FBI, NSA. Unless you're somebody of that quality of life, you can't follow a cell phone. It's just not it's not as possible as everybody wants to believe. So what we have to tell people is, when it comes to the cell phone world and us streaming, whether it be video or whether it be MP3 quality, like the radio app itself, the problem is you have to look at it like a 1 out of 10. You might see 1 out of 10. And that's the thing, because as these people are driving down the expressway, it's tower, 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 bing, 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 every 2 to 5 miles, depending on everything, depending on the air quality that day, if it's raining, if there's moisture in the air, if there's lightning, if they're coming around a mountain. When they come, there'll be a friggin' tower around 2 different mountains. If they go down a big ace hill before Panola Road, I mean, there's so many things that can technically block and interfere friggin' cell phones. And people go, "Well, can't you?" No. A car's mechanical. It has to, you can see it, you can trace it. Electrical work, I can trace the wire, but it's hard to trace things traveling through the air. I mean,
that's true. That is, and so that I was just those were 2 very cool experiences.
Yes. That's cool, because I'm telling you, there's been so many times, I know I kind of went off subject, but I wanted to make sure the listeners get why it's so hard for us to figure out, what the exact number for listeners are. But, what happens is, for instance, me going into Arby's, I tell the story about going into Arby's and the way that when you order your food and you turn around, there's your condiment section, just like Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm ordering, I went to laugh about something, and I hear somebody sitting at the end of the building, at the glass, right at the front of the building, yell out, "Just for fun!" And it's just funny, because I recognized his face a little bit, but I couldn't tell you from where. I mean, it's gotten so crazy with, more and more people. I walked through Wendy's yesterday and saw another guy, and it's like haunted me, going, "I know this dude, I know this dude, I know this dude," but I couldn't place from where, because I've done so much. I mean, hell, I've been doing stuff at Harley now for between 5 and 8 years.
Yeah.
And, I joke, because I'm like looking at these Harley guys going, I've been here 3 owners ago. Like, I was here before you, and I'll be here long after you. Because
that's my line.
When you get either replaced, fired, or another owner owns it, I'm still going to be here doing work at this building. Don't know who the owner's going to be.
Right. Don't know who, but
it'll be this building I'm still going to be doing work at.
Well, the other funny thing that happened, Benny and I, we are huge farmers market people. So we're walking through DeKalb Farmers Market, and, we were talking about, Benny, I love the Social House. Benny loves the Social House. So we were just kind of reflecting on, the last bus trip that we did down to the Social House. And, if you've ever been in DeKalb Farmers Market, you are like wall to wall with your closest friends that you never knew you had. And so the lady, we were in the collards and the kale section, and our backs were facing to the right, and this lady's behind us, and she's facing to the left. And so Benny's like, yeah, the shrimp po' boy at the social house. And the lady turns around and she goes, the social house in Porterdale. And we turn around and we were like, yeah.
At least they didn't say the social house in Porterdale. Sorry, I just had to. It was too funny.
That was too funny.
Yeah.
So Benny's like, yeah. And so Benny's like, how do you know about it? And she goes, well, she said, I've got some friends and they keep posting all these pictures about, this radio station that comes down there, and they had a whole group of people come in and they were doing karaoke. And Benny goes, that was my wife. And
so when they were talking about the karaoke,
they
said, oh, that was her. The one that sang Vanilla Ice. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back. Got a brand new invention. Okay. Sorry.
Dusty's joke with that is that she's like, Anise, you don't rap, you do storytelling. And that's probably more true than it is not.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's more accurate than you want to believe.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm not a complete storyteller when I rap. I heard country rap for the first time yesterday. What are you doing, man?
I'm trying to get all these things adjusted. You got to remember, when Tyler comes in, he goofs up so much.
I'm like, you playing with everything over there.
I always have to reset it. I always do.
That's why we need to go to
I should have readjusted some stuff. Well, Billy was supposed to come the other day and then just couldn't because he got sidetracked. And then the very next day, which would have been yesterday, you were
playing the plumber.
I'm laying some pipe.
You were playing the plumber. No, so Benny, I love my wife so much.
What's about damn time?
Shut up, Scotty.
Dang.
So, yesterday you're posting about the water heater, and she's like, honey, should I go over there and help them? And I looked at her and I was like, you can go over there. I was like, I don't know how much help you could be, though, because you don't really know anything that he needs. And she's like, well, we can just call our plumber. I was like, okay, honey, that's not how it works with Scotty. I was like,
yeah, I was already 600 in the hole. There's no way I was going to pay somebody to come do it.
I was like,
I've tried. And what sucks is, here we go. I have probably changed out, just guessing, it's probably 500 water heaters. I really want to say 1,000, but I'll just go low and say 5, because all I did was take care of rental houses for years and, swapping them out. Me and Jeff, the guy I worked with, he was my partner. We were to the point where 3 hours, and 3 hours is go to the house and see what water heater we needed. Go to the depot to get one, get back and swap it out. I literally can swap out, I could swap out a water heater in an hour. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because I already had, a tote with all the CPVC I needed, everything. I had everything all the time. And just to show how out of shape I am now, not counting since I got hurt. When I went to move that thing around yesterday, good God Almighty, I'm just like, I don't remember. Your train of thought is different. Like if you're a mechanic, you have a train of thought on how you do things. And same thing with me. Y'all come down here and don't know how to do half the stuff I do, but I'm routine. I know how to do it all. I'm not in a routine anymore. So it's like, God, man, when I was swapping it out. And then when I got done, I was like, dude, I used to could do this in an hour. And it was just like horrible that my train of thought, I felt pathetic.
Yeah, but you're like 20 years older now, dude. I mean,
not since the last time I changed out a water heater. God knows. It ain't been that long.
Haven't been that? Okay.
I mean, you're talking 07?
That's only, but Scotty, you're getting older.
I know.
You don't remember like you used to.
Well, you're not in the routine of doing it.
Yeah, you're not
like
in the routine.
All my tools, I was going, okay, I used to have you know, 2 sets of channel locks, 2 sets of monkey wrenches, 2 sets of everything. And because which you don't get this, but when you're doing pipe work, you need pipe wrenches. There's a big difference between channel locks and pipe wrenches, which is the monkey wrenches. Just different names, of course. But when you're running rigid, you have to have, say you're putting a coupling on a piece of pipe, you have to have a wrench on the coupling and a wrench on a piece of pipe. You have to have 2 wrenches. And the problem is you can't have a good pipe wrench and crappy pair of channel locks and think you're going to torque down on the pipe and then torque down on the coupling to get them together, because one's not going to grip as good as the other. So it's like so many things I was aggravated about. So it's like I'd get down here and start doing something and go, oh my God, I got to go find this. And it was just those stupid things, you know, because you're not prepared to do it anymore, like you used to be able to do it. So it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of a man gripe for a second, because it's kind of like, you know, I just couldn't believe I've allowed myself to get like that. But it's because I don't do a lot of this stuff anymore. You know what I mean? So that kind of changes it up a lot. I know I sound like I'm just complaining, but I'm just painting an image for people to really understand, you know, if, for instance, I used to work on cars. That's not a problem. And the catch is I just don't do it anymore. Like I remember when I had my 77 Chevrolet, you know, that we worked on that 305 like it was nothing. I mean, swapping the cams out, swapping heads out, working on lifters all the time. You know, actually it was working on lifters because the guy before me kept tightening them and not gapping them correctly. And, you know, all the weird things that we used to do because it was top dead center. You have to get it on a compression, this. And, you know, I remember those things. I just don't do it anymore. So I don't remember it like I used to. Like when we used to do hydraulics on lowriders, people have no clue that I used to do that. People have no idea that through the 80s, I helped build just tons of friggin' lowriders. You know, the way I got into electrical work was wiring stereos when I was 14 years old. People don't know I know how to do that. And then I had, for instance, I'm talking to one of my buddies about 4-wheel drive trucks, and he thinks I know absolutely nothing about like I grew up on Peachtree Street. Like people believe that. And I'm like, dude, hunting, fishing, been there, done that, got bored with it. Shooting guns on my grandfather's farm at 8 years old, been there, done it. I mean, mud bogging, been there, done it. Dirt bikes, been there, done it. Four-wheelers, been there, done it. I mean, I've already done all these things, and people act like I have no clue. And it's so funny when somebody starts to tell me something and they think I have no earthly idea. Like I talked about getting a Jeep. This is the funniest thing ever. I showed a picture of a Jeep I wanted online, and this guy who just only knows me as DJ Scotty says, well, where are you gonna, you have no need for one of those where you live in Atlanta. I'm in Conyers, dude. Like I'm Rockdale, and he's Boswick, and Boswick's right outside of Monroe. Monroe is just right down the street from Rockdale. So I'm just kind of like, wow. What do you? People just visualize. They just visualize a different world sometimes, and I keep going. I gotta buy another paintbrush to paint an image for this dude.
Well, because they visualize, because, you know, we are the only streaming internet radio station outside of Atlanta.
Outside of Atlanta, right.
And a lot of people
visualize Atlanta.
Yeah, they visualize Atlanta. They don't realize that, you know, we're right here in Conyers, Georgia.
Yeah, this guy made a comment. What are you going to do? Crawl parking decks with your Jeep? And I went, I don't even know where a parking deck is. I'm like, ooh, Rockdale Hospital, I guess you can say, has a parking deck. There's a ground level and there's like a basement level. I mean, it's kind of ground level, depending on what side of the building you're on. But no. I'm like, it has a first floor and a second floor. Does that count as a parking deck? That's the closest thing to a freaking parking deck that we have around here.
Yeah, I can't wait for y'all to get the Jeep. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, we have a sponsor that's a car lot, you know.
I know, Exclusive Automotive.
They and we've got to do a commercial for them today, by the way. Okay. Before you leave, we got to get it done because I've been holding out thinking we were going to get it done with one of them, and we just need to get it done. But my point being is we got a phone call yesterday of them saying, what kind of Jeep is it that you're wanting now? And I said to my wife, make sure you clarify it cannot be older. It can't be a 2011 and under. It has to be at least 2012 to newer. And she says, well, they don't do anything under 2013. I said, well, then we're safe. Because the 2011 and older has a weak motor.
Oh.
Yeah. So 2012 to now has like 83 more horsepower. And some people don't think that's such a big deal, but from all the Jeep people I've talked to, if you're mud bogging, if you will, because sometimes that's all people understand. If they think you're out in the woods riding somewhere, they think you're mud bogging. If you're anywhere and you need to put it in low to climb stuff, they're saying that weaker motor, you could hear the motor straining. So
the next time I get snowed into my house, instead of calling my friends at Rockdale Sheriff's Department who no longer speak to me, I could call you in the Jeep.
No. So Covington has a pretty nice parking deck. Where does Covington at their hospital? Do they have a parking deck? Yes, Covington has a
yeah.
So the only 2 parking decks are hospitals.
That way, if we get injured, we're right there at the hospital.
That's right. So anyways, all right, let's shoot off to commercial. We need to do that. We'll be back here in a moment. Everybody, it's just for fun in the moment. Moaning. She ain't even questioning the moaning part. We'll be right back.
I can't even help him. I can't help him.
We'll be back, everybody.
All right. Raylan Nelson at 9.
I gotta pee.
Well, please go pee.
So little Richard sends me a picture and he says, watch this. He says, this just shows you coinky dink. He says, man, I can see you in that Jeep right there.
Wow.
Watch. And I said, how the hell did you end up with the same Jeep I took a picture of? Is that not funny?
Wow.
Look at that. It's the same damn Jeep.
It's the same Jeep.
Look at that. There's what I snapped last night. Let's look for the wheels. Yeah, it's the same damn Jeep. How crazy is that?
How much is that one? Like $70,000?
Probably. They're just overpriced. And look, I keep telling people not to put headphones
on the stand.
On the stands. So what happened a few minutes ago? I moved something. Bam! They hit the ground. I'm serious. My rules are gonna have to stay my rules. I am so over everybody kind of making their own rules up. The studio rules, I just expect them to stay studio rules. If they're in the center of the table like that, you ain't got to worry about it hitting the ground. I got to show you a funny, really fast. Before I do what I got to do, look in the toilet. Okay, that's crud and stuff that comes out of your pipes. So here's what happens. Your pipes come into the top of your water heater. Right. I'll show you a picture of that, and I'll show you where that comes from.
Wow.
But to know you take a shower in that. Yeah.
You know what? You just gave a whole new meaning. No, we will not be taking that. No. We call it conserving water, but no.
What is that?
Vinny and I always call it conserving water when we take a shower together, but that just gave a whole new meaning. No.
She wouldn't lay on nothing yesterday, so I was like,
Her bones were probably hurting yesterday.
I got the beds upstairs. I need to get back down.
All right, so let's see. I want to go with I have other news, but we're not back yet. So my friend Clayton English won Last Comic Standing last night.
Okay, so look. See that joint?
Yeah.
See where that ties into the water heater?
Yeah.
So that joint where that ties into the water heater, right there. See that white piece of tape and that piece? So when I undid those two joints, I had to screw that out and that out of this. That joint, inside that joint, the hole's supposed to be roughly that big around.
Uh-huh.
I could barely put that much finger through it because it was all
Gunk.
black gunk. So I took the piece of pipe outside, took a a flathead screwdriver, and just kept doing this, busting it out. And then I had to come in here. Well, the water was turned off. Toilet, dip it. That's all I could do. There was no water.
Why didn't you just buy another piece of that pipe?
Because that's the piece I had to reconnect it all without having to resolder all my lines and everything else.
So you can't just connect like one little piece. You have to.
I could have, but I didn't have a van to go get all my stuff.
Where's the van?
Emmy has it.
Oh. Well.
So that's why Denise had to take me.
Well, wait. Where's? Wow.
Where's her car?
Well, no,
Remember it was wrecked.
I know it was wrecked, but I'm like, okay.
Hey, we're back, everybody. How funny is this? Little Richard sends me this picture of a Jeep. Says, I could just see you in this Jeep. I send him back a picture and go, how in the hell do you have the same picture I got? So he just happened to Google a Jeep. He just said in a text he Googled it. But me, I was on Car Lifestyle on Instagram. And you go into Instagram and type in Jeep.
Yeah.
Good Lord, some of the coolest vehicles come up. But this is probably 64 to 72, 5, maybe.
That Jeep is hot. I'm like, I want y'all to get a Jeep just because once y'all get a Jeep, then I have a Jeep.
You know what I really want? And I started looking because Jeeps are so overpriced right now. I started looking at Hummers. The problem is a Hummer, on its best day, it's 12 miles to the gallon.
That's like driving the Fun Bus.
The Fun Bus gets better gas mileage than a Ford Explorer.
Really?
Yes. I get better gas mileage in that bus than I do on my Ford Explorer I had. I got rid of my Ford Explorer. Huh. It's so funny when you look at Ford Explorer and then you look at, okay, see, this is what raises the question, see? So I look at an H2 and then I look at an H3. H2 has an 8-cylinder and H3 has a 6-cylinder. Mm-hmm. They both get the same gas mileage. One's big, one's small. Why do they get the same gas mileage? Why and how and why? How is that even possible that they get the same gas mileage? That's stupid.
That's crazy.
And then you look at my bus that gets great gas mileage, and it's a 26-foot bus. So a 26-foot bus gets better gas mileage than a Ford Explorer. Why? Why? They just come on. The car industry has us by the balls, y'all.
Yes, they really do.
There is no earthly way.
Let's see.
Just saying.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited though.
Ravens. Chris says he wants a Hummer. You have to talk to your wife about that. So I'm just blown away.
I can't wait for you.
And then like an H1 gets 8 miles to the gallon.
Who drives an H1 though? Who?
Well, I know a guy has one.
Oh.
I priced one. I could get one for $5,000. The problem is the parts for that damn thing would probably be outrageous. And I mean, where would I be able to drive it? Conyers. That's it.
That's it. Right.
I mean, if I bought that, I mean, truthfully, I could buy a Hummer for $5,000 and get the same gas mileage I could if I bought a $75,000 Chevelle with a blower sticking out of the hood, you know?
Yeah.
And get the same gas mileage.
Yeah, no, we don't want a Hummer because Hummers, you know, that they're just not sexy. Jeeps are sexy.
Are you kidding me? A freaking Hummer?
A Hummer
An H1?
is not sexy. That's not sexy, Scotty.
Oh my God.
Not
Do you know the
sexy.
attention we would get? Look, let me tell you about my car taste. My wife hates how I think. I'm going to tell you a couple of things I want. I want Rob's Performance had it too. A jacked up 4-wheel drive, huge monster truck hearse.
Wait, a monster truck hearse?
Have you never seen one?
I have never seen one.
Yeah. Do you know the attention that I would get in a hearse?
A monster truck hearse.
Yeah. You never seen one?
I've never seen one.
Look at that. That is so not what I typed in.
Oh my. Yeah, no. That is
far from. You gotta love Yahoo.
Yeah, I don't see any of the things that you typed in.
That's her shifters.
See, I want something that we can take the top off and we can just cruise down to the lake with the top off.
Okay. But see, like, I want to hold on. So I want a jacked up 4-wheel drive hearse, right?
Okay.
How the hell do you even spell a hearse? I'm like lost.
I think it's Hear. Hearse.
I'm having a hard time this morning with just getting my brain to work because I'm like so stressed out over everything else. So how about this? So I want a hearse because I know that driving around with a jacked up hearse with just for fun on it, everybody would stare at like a bus. If I had a big, bright neon green Jeep, everybody's going to stare at it. If I have a bright neon green H1 or H2, everybody's going to stare at it. If I had a 78 Monte Carlo jacked up on 30-inch rims, everybody would stare at it when you come down the road.
Yes,
see my point?
Yes, I would.
So my wife goes, "Oh my God, you want to keep look."
And
here you go. So my wife says, "You want every odd thing you can have."
Oh my gosh.
How about I want the Ghostbusters car?
Okay, now I could so see us in the Ghostbusters car with the Just for Fun logo. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about the Ghostbusters car jacked up like that? Every single head in the world would turn and look at you.
Yeah, but how would I get in and out?
I'll get you a damn step ladder.
Okay. As long as I don't have to ride in the back.
And then if I had a hearse, you know what I'd have? I'd go make a baby coffin cooler. So when you're tailgating and people go, "Hey man, you got a beer." Hold on. And you open the door, and when you open the back door, this little music box kind of plays like a dead an organ or something, and then you slide the cooler out and you just open it and get your beer.
Wow.
I think that would just be the irony of everything that drive you nuts.
You are so twisted sometimes.
But do you know how much attention you would draw to, like an old ambulance, you know? Come on, man. There's so many cool things you could do.
I would love
look,
to have
here's
one
the
of
Back
those.
to the Future car jacked up as a 4-wheel drive. See, I'd drive the hell out of that. A DeLorean jacked up as a 4-wheel drive. Look at that.
It looks like
Would that not be wicked? Everybody in the world would read your name on the side of it.
Well, you know, Crystal and I will just take a Corvette.
Okay,
saying.
so if y'all could come up with like the Corvette from Corvette Summers.
From Corvette Summers. What's that?
Raven said if you had one of this, everybody would look. I've got a couple of those, and they don't look as much as you think they do.
No, they don't.
That's why people are getting killed. Just saying.
No, they don't. But okay, so topic change. Shout out to my friend Clayton.
Subject.
Clayton English, who I met 3 years ago through comedian Reggie Jackson. He has just won.
Not Reggie Jackson was a baseball player, football player, or something.
Everybody says that.
He was a ball player, though.
Everybody thinks when they hear the name Reggie Jackson that they're going to see some black man, but then a white woman appears, and they're like, "Ow." But I love Reggie, and Reggie has been with me on my podcast network from day one. And so that was how I met Clayton English. And Clayton just won Last Comic Standing.
That's awesome.
And
so is he going to call in?
I don't know. He's not going to call in today because we've got another incredible guest calling in today. But I'm so proud of him. So he actually has his own YouTube channel, and he has his own podcast.
Cool.
So, yeah, congratulations, Clayton. That was huge, huge accomplishment. And, you know, when I hang out with the guys of comedy, they are so funny. They are so freaking funny. They're almost like you, Scotty.
Well, you know, I've had one of my buddies reach out and say, dude, why don't you do stand-up? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a rehearsed kind of guy. There's no way I can, like, rehearse a skit. I'm kind of, let me get a beer in my hand. Because I get nervous if I'm trying to be serious. So I'm like, let me get a beer in my hand and get on stage. And I can just I'm just naturally. But I can't rehearse. If I rehearse, it's never right. I can say it 1,000 times and it's still never going to come out the same.
Well, you know, we could have just brought a camera over the last movie night that you had over here, and that would have been funny.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, see. Just saying.
Well, you know, it's insane, some of the stuff. And, you know, I support anybody that does comedy because it's such a tough business.
And, you know, speaking of supporting businesses, we got a new business in Conyers that I'm excited about.
And
they are actually, she's going to be here in the studio with us tonight. It's a country, I can't remember the name of it.
Yesterday's a blur.
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but they're a new organic soap shop in Old Town. So anything.
And is that who's going to be next to Awake Coffee?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're talking about the phone call the young lady that called me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. They're next to Awake.
I'm excited for anybody coming into Old Town Conyers because we need more businesses there. We really do. We need more restaurants there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put it this way. Yesterday, we leave Lowe's. I'm hitching a ride, and I'm like, I've got to eat before I work on this. I've got to eat. My sugar's dropping. And I get, where do you want to eat? And I went, I don't know. And at this time, we cross 138 at Flat Shoals, and Denise, I almost said these nuts, but Denise is like, as she's passing, you know, going down Flat Shoals like we're going towards Salem, she's like, well, we got to decide. I said, well, you just left the road where all the food is.
Right.
Well, we'll find something on Salem. I went, there's McDonald's and Wendy's. She was about Burger. No, I never eat Burger King. Burger King, the flame broiled crap, Heartburn City. The only thing I could say is let's turn around and go back to Chick-fil-A, but it's like 12:18. So it's like, well, you can't go back to Chick-fil-A because it's too busy to get in there.
Right.
There's really nothing. There's just nothing.
You could have went to Panera.
There's generic stuff, yeah, but there's nothing fast about Panera.
Yes, Panera is fast. Kind of on a.
You must play bingo because that's about how fast that is.
No, okay. So what my trick for ordering?
I-19.
No, my trick for Panera
I-19
is I use their app when I pull up to their
G21. You sank my battleship. Oh, sorry, wrong game. I mean, that's how retarded that is.
Yeah, you know, this Panera needs some work, but they're a franchise.
I like them, don't get me wrong, but that's a place to go sit and meet Oz or something like that, where you sit down and don't plan on getting out of there in a hurry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fast food. It's not meant to be fast food either.
They have a drive-through, though.
It's still just not meant to be fast food. Yeah, I want somebody to go through the drive-through and get a soup and a bread bowl and try to eat that while they're driving.
We've done that.
Of course you have.
What?
Nothing at all.
You know, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. And Benny gave you the sweetest compliment.
Yeah, you
the other
started to
day.
tell me that, but what happened?
Okay, so my friend Danny, and I know I've got some people listening to me this morning who remember my relationship with Danny. Danny was my best friend from growing up in childhood. He was a white
Danny
guy.
Zuko?
No, Danny Boone. He was a white guy.
You don't even know who that is. So.
And yeah, I don't know who Danny Zuko is. But Danny and I were oh.
Dang, man. Like, I thought you'd be on that one.
I didn't know that.
Keep going.
But we were best friends forever. And Danny was killed in a home invasion in 1993 in Carrollton. And I never will forget when I came out, Danny said to me, Anise, don't tell people that you're a lesbian. Just tell them that you're dating a white man. He's like, you know, that hate will go over a lot easier. And we laughed about it. And so, you know.
So being lesbian with a white girl was like major sin then.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Keep going with your story though. I just was thinking that.
Yeah. So, you know, so Danny and I, we just had that. It was like a weird brother-sister relationship. We were always protected each other. You know, I knew I could get into anything and Danny could get me out somehow. And so Benny was talking about you the other day and she said, you know, I think you got your Danny back in Scotty. And I thought about it, I was like, you know what? You're right. So, yeah.
Well, how about that?
And then, you know, and then I was listening to the song this morning.
That's such an awe moment, but you can't really make fun of it. You know, you go say, okay.
Yeah. You know, well, and the other thing that kind of brought it full circle was Benny and I were listening to Raylan Nelson. She's going to be a guest in a couple of minutes. And she has a song called Brother. And, you know, and if you watch the video of the song, it's about this brother who has his little sister's back. And, you know, and she's telling everybody, if you mess with me, my brother's going to come get you. And so that's kind of how we got on that topic of you yesterday. So you come up in our house a lot in topic.
I was going to say, I've only been in there once.
Well, you know, in topic.
I come in the door and it's like, white man walking, white man walking. And I go in their house and it's like 1970. There's all these black velvet pictures on the wall. And I expect to see a neon light. And there's all this weird incense. I look over and there's this freaking voodoo thing with a chicken foot and a bowl of blood. I'm just like, you've now entered the house of the Black Lesbian Zone.
That's right. And I don't even know that was from a science experiment that day.
What?
The blood on the table.
I was joking.
Oh.
What the hell do you need to tell me? Because I was joking.
No, we really
None of that was there when I was there.
No, we really did have blood in a bowl on the table one day from a science experiment.
I'm over here making a joke about going in your house. And you're like, well, that was from a science experiment. Excuse me? There was not any blood when I was... For the record, there was no blood.
It was Hollywood blood, y'all.
On this crime scene when I was present. Your Honor, I know nothing. I don't recall seeing a chicken foot. I don't know.
No, we didn't have a chicken foot, but we were doing something with Hollywood fake blood.
Jesus Christ. Let me think of what other joke I can make and you tell me something truthfully about. Good Lord. I'm like, there's no blood there. Well, it was a science experiment. Oh my God, Doc, really?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh is right.
What am I going to do with you, Scott?
What am I going to do with you? You're out there sometimes. It's so funny. Like I said earlier, sometimes you're too smart for your own good. Like when you open your mouth and it's like what you say is accurate. It's just like, did she not think about how that was going to sound?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're a homeschool family, so we have
blood.
We have different stuff than most people would have on their table because everything in our life is a teachable moment.
So there's an autopsy frog on the kitchen counter right next to the chicken for dinner.
Well, you know, there would be no chicken for dinner.
I know.
You know, I'm just
all
saying.
right. Well, let's shoot off the commercial. We're expecting a phone call. And as soon as that phone rings, we will probably come right back because we're at that 8:44 moment. Everybody hang tight. It's just fun in the morning.
Okay. Do we have any? I'll ask you off air.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Can you download Raylan Nelson and play her real quick? Or is there anything real quick about that? Oh, Richard said you could have went to Zaxby. He said Panera is Zaxby fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just running slow, man. Yesterday, not counting that I'm hungry. I need to eat this.
You need to do that Pop Tart.
Write me down the names. I know exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay.
The granddaughter's up there running around. It's funny. All right, I got that loaded.
Thank you.
I need to fix it because that's not a good version.
Yeah, that's the video version.
Yep.
Can you edit that?
And sorry, everybody, that was the video version. I just had to grab it really fast. I'll have to edit it, but that's just what I could get as quick as I could.
Okay. I appreciate you.
Read that for Little Richard. So everybody on video as I'm eating. Little Richard says, do not read this out loud. Talking about Doc's house. There's no chicken eating in that house because no could be found anywhere. I couldn't say the actual word, but you put 1 and 2 together on that one.
Put 1 and 2. 1 and 1. We're having some fun. Okay.
I got them back live.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Sorry I put that on. I was the manner I put it on. I was trying to come up with it because that's who's going to be calling in a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to talk fast and swallow this Pop-Tart.
I'm super excited about her calling in.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
You know, I'm always excited about any female musician, especially a female who does country.
Right.
Love it. Just love it.
And I have it. What I'll do is I'll just have to edit it and get it played in rotation, so to speak. Hopefully we can get some music sent to us.
And speaking of, you know, artists, we're actually going to have an open mic for local singers here, and that's at the Black Box Theater in Old Town.
Who?
An open mic for local songwriters.
At where?
At the Black Box Theater in Old Town.
What the hell is the Black Box Theater?
I think it's that little place over there on off of Center Street.
I love how you say over there, and I'm like, over where?
Off of Center Street, kind of cat a corner from the sandwich shop, up from the Black Cat.
You mean where the Arts Council is?
Yes.
Never knew that was the name.
Yeah, I never knew it was the name either until somebody sent me a message.
And who sent you that?
Somebody, one of my Facebook. She's a friend of one of my Facebook friends, and she said, "Can you announce this on air?" And I was
Which is who?
The person who sent it to me.
Yes.
I'll have to go look. Hold on.
Well, the reason I ask is Shelly, the lady that's taking it over. I made all these suggestions of stuff to do. Never heard back from her.
No, it wasn't Shelly.
I know, but Shelly's running it.
Oh, okay.
I said, look, you need to get Just for Fun involved. This is why I hate giving ideas out and then they don't use us, because I said we need to start getting open mic up here. I can get you some comedians up here. I said, you get us involved, we can get you all these things to happen up here. Never heard back from her. I despise having conversations with people, telling them all the things we can do. They never call us back. They leave us out of the loop. And then next thing you know, they're doing it because they think they can do it without us. But it's stupid when we can work together on these things. And it's so aggravating.
But then come back to us and say, hey, can you help us?
But yet you can ask me to make announcements for you.
See, I didn't know the background.
You might want to ask me questions before you do things then. Because, yeah.
Well, you know,
I know you're doing right. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to Old Town, you might want to ask me, because Old Town is so friggin' screwed up. Like the beer thing, they're doing the beer thing. People ask us to advertise it. Nobody asked us to be part of it. And it's just so aggravating. And people wonder why we're kind of standoffish to a few events. But it's because we come up with all these great ideas and tell these people, let's do these things. Then these people think, oh, I can do that. And they try to do it without us.
Right. But
then they still want us to help, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh, people.
Yeah, you don't get to slam the door in our face.
Yeah, work with us to do stuff.
Work with us, not against us. You don't get to slam the door in our face and then expect us to come back and help you. But I just thought, I didn't know the
No, you
history
didn't
about
know.
it.
And I'm not shunning them. It's just stupid because I told him we could do that. I said, dude, there are so many people that we can get together and do this and do this and do this. And truthfully, I don't hear from any of these people. But then you hear about this. And it's like, really? Because that was my suggestion.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't talk about irking me. That irks me. Because I suggested that. I went and sat down and had a long lunch with her and told her all the things we could do. And now they're trying to do it.
But that's rule number 1 of the game, Scotty. You don't ever give up your goods.
Nope. I won't anymore.
I mean,
I won't. This is why I don't tell people my ideas. Mike Brown is about the only person I sit down and have conversations with. And I'm not trying to be an ass. It just sucks. It really sucks when they discredit you and then try to do it behind your back. All right. Here we go. Just for Fun Radio.
Hi, this is Raylan Nelson. Is Jacob available?
Good morning, Raylan. It's the doc and the DJ. Jacob is he works out of our Oklahoma office.
Yeah, Jacob, we call him the guru, man. He has a way of connecting to all y'all. He is listening. Don't think for a second he's not, because he'll probably be calling in and kind of do the telephone interview as well. But it's awesome that he got you. It's great having you on here. I just actually played your song "Brother."
Oh, cool. Okay, so wait, tell me what your name is. You said the doc and the DJ?
Yeah, I'm DJ Scotty. I'm the owner, operator, and Doc is one of my co-hosts. She runs one of our night shows that's called Ladies Talk.
Oh, hey, guys.
So,
hello.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. It's nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. So,
where are you guys? Are y'all in Atlanta?
Yeah. Well, we're outside of Atlanta. We're in a place called Rockdale, Conyers.
We're about
30 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, about 30 minutes away. So,
I used to live, so when my mom married my stepdad, we moved to Woodstock, Georgia for maybe a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
But I was 7, 8 years old at the time. So I don't really remember much about Atlanta, you know, but I did live there for a little bitty time when I was a little bit of youngin'.
Yeah, if you picture 285 circling Atlanta being the center, Woodstock's like 11 o'clock-ish if you look at it like a clock. So Woodstock is north about the 11 o'clock, and we're more like 4 o'clock east. So, yeah, man.
Okay.
That's cool, though. Woodstock's an awesome area, though. It really is.
Yes, it is.
Now, let me ask you, when I was a kid, I used to love the Varsity, that restaurant down there.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still around and kicking and still good?
Oh, yeah. The Varsity, I remember being there. It's funny because you say you were like 7 years old when you lived in Woodstock. I'm 45, and I remember when I was 5, 6 years old eating the Varsity. You know, it's landmark. And Doc's a vegetarian, so I keep saying, well, let's go down there and get a hot dog.
Yeah, and Raylan, the funny thing is, I have never eaten at the Varsity, and I've been here a long time.
Well, I was wondering because I'm vegetarian now, you know, I'm very plant-based and predominantly vegetarian because I do like fish and things like that. But so I wouldn't even know if I could go back there and eat a chili dog again. I'd probably shoot through a screen door. Sorry.
Yeah, my cholesterol, my health would hate me. Because look, I don't do grease very good. My body just doesn't want to digest it. So the last time I went down there, I got 2 chili slaw dogs and a large order of onion rings.
Oh my God.
I loved it then. 2 hours later, not so much.
My stomach is hurting for you.
Yeah. Order an onion rings. Look, if you put 2 napkins under it and then take the napkin out there and wring the napkin out on your motor, you'll probably oil something down.
It's so green of you, too.
Yeah, right. We're reusing it. Doc's like, oh, I'm proud of you if you're thinking that way. And then we'll just throw the paper towel in the parking lot.
Changing the world.
Yes.
Changing the world one onion ring order at a time.
Oh, God, yes. So what's going on with you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and the listeners as well.
Okay, so I'm based in Nashville, and my band is, and I have 3 youngins that I homeschool, which I love doing it, and we have a blast. So they take up a lot of my time, and then I have this band that I've been putting together with my partner Jonathan Bright. Let's see, 2011, I just got through nursing my daughter, and while I was home with them, I had more time to sit down. Before I had them, of course, I was working and things like that, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to pick up the guitar. But then when I had my babies, I was home a lot and picked up the guitar again and started writing songs. So then after I got through nursing my daughter and was able to get out of the house more, I went out to try to find a place to record these songs. And through a mutual friend, I met Jonathan Bright, who everybody calls JB. So he offered his studio to let me come record a few songs. I went over there and did that, and he said, do you want to start writing together? And I was like, okay. Of course, at the time, I hadn't done much of anything, just sitting at home writing my own little stuff. So I was eager, like, I want to do everything. Yes, let's do stuff. So we started doing little writer shows in Nashville and started putting together these songs that were really cool. And he had a band called Defense Wins Championships, which is really hard rock band. And so he got those guys to come and jam with us a few times. So our first show all together was in 2012. And since then, we've just kind of been building this thing, and it's really cool. And this year, instead of doing it, let's see, in 2014, we put out an EP. Mm-hmm. And then this year, we decided to do singles. And we're kind of doing everything on our own. So it's going slower than we thought it would. We thought we'd be able to put it out a month at a time. But booking yourself and touring and raising 3 youngins and having to work part-time jobs too, it also takes up a lot of time.
Oh,
so
God, yeah.
It's working out to be about every 2.5 months that they're coming out. But we decided to put singles out with a video and a t-shirt. So the first one was Brother, and I got, of course, every video so far I've had my kids in. So I think that's just going to be my thing now. I'm going to put my kids on the videos and make them be our actors.
Well, and it tells a story when you actually put your family in it. People relate to it a lot more.
And yeah, I think so. I agree with that. And of course, I just told my kids, it's acting class now. We're gonna, and they need to be exposed to art, and they're really good at it. They want to be involved in what I'm doing, and so it's
Raylan, I
haven't actually been to a show though. Isn't that funny?
Well, I also homeschool, so I'm a huge homeschool advocate, and oh my gosh, yeah, we do unschooling and homeschool, so I love it.
So now, how old are your kids?
My daughter is 17. She's a sophomore in college now, and I homeschooled her from 6th grade on. And my son, I just pulled him out of public school last year in the 4th grade, and we're going into our 2nd year of homeschooling with him.
And you like it?
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Isn't that great?
Yes. And what I love about working with Scotty at Just for Fun Radio is Just for Fun Radio is a huge supporter of homeschooling. Scotty gives me off days just so that I can homeschool. I mean, what job does that?
Yeah. That's so cool.
Well,
I
have a granddaughter.
Probably works better for you.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You have a granddaughter.
I was going to say, I have a granddaughter that's now living with us full time. So the whole time as we start to have her to be full time, it's like it dawns on us, oh my God, we got a grandbaby. Like we've got a baby now. And then at first you're thinking, because me and my wife both have been married before. We didn't have a child between us, but we had children of our own. So everybody kept saying, well, don't you wish you had a kid? That sort of thing. Well, now we do. And as we have her for the next month to month, we're going, oh my God, like we really have a child. So it's like, oh my God, school. What are we going to do about school? And then we meet Doc, and Doc now homeschools. So she's saying, oh, well, we got it covered. We're going to take care of Zaylee. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, here's this woman that's come into our life that's now part of our show. She homeschooled. We support the whole homeschool fact. But now it's actually, she's going to be teaching our granddaughter. So it's like the whole fear of trying to put our kid in public school was really dawning on, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because she's 16 months old. School has progressively gotten worse. When she gets to school, how bad is it going to be? And I'm like, thank God I'm not going to have to worry about that now.
Nope.
So long drawn out version, but
we inspire people, and people get put in our lives for certain reasons to inspire us in ways. And it's just, and to really help out with our path. That's really cool. We use this. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this program called Classical Conversations. But it's socialized homeschooling, and that's what we do. We go once a week, and we meet with a tutor, and you basically learn memory work through song, and it's all based on the alphabet song, how we all remember the alphabet from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So they say if you learn the grammar, and when they talk about new grammar, it's basically memory fact of each subject. It's not just English grammar. So when you learn your memory work for the week for each subject, it's to a song. So I can look at my 5-year-old who's almost 6 and say, tell me about the Declaration of Independence. And she goes, in 1776, the Continental Congress published the Declaration of and just sings this song about it. So she has all these facts memorized through song. And it's really cool to see these kids learn that way. And it also gives them a place to go and hang out with kids for a couple of hours too. And anyway, that's what we do.
You know what's so funny? Would you say
like that all over?
When I look back at people's numbers, phone numbers, you know, back in our day before before cell phones and everything was on memory of speed dial, you know, we always had to remember phone numbers. And I'm probably going to give out somebody's phone number, but it won't have an area code because it was before we had to use area code. But because we treated it like a song, I can remember this girl named Susie Slack's phone number, and it was 979-7691. Because we learned to say it so fast and we treated it like a song, we've always remembered it.
Yeah.
So, like, I can bump into somebody that I've known for 20 years and go, you know, because you remember the Jenny song, you know, and the phone number and that.
Right.
So it's like, do you remember Susie's number? And everybody's like saying it at the same time, 979-7691. And I'm like, holy cow, it's so funny that we remember. I can remember my grandmother's phone number, which I dialed all the time, and that one. I don't remember anybody else's phone number.
Anybody else's?
And, you know, and speaking of people on our journey, you know, my wife and I were listening to your song Brother yesterday, and that song just, oh my gosh, Raylan, that song was the epitome of everything that my best friend Danny was to me and who Scotty is to me right now. I mean, it's just, I was like, yeah.
Man, that stinks that you got me on such a high standard, because that means I'm just moments away from screwing that up. Dang, Doc. You should have put me in the caliber next to the sheetrock guy on the construction site. At least then I could have went up. I didn't have to worry about going down.
Well, see, that's the beautiful thing about brothers, though, because, you know, when you fall down, little sisters always pick you back up.
Yeah, I guess so. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll let you have that one.
You'll let me have that one. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and Raylan,
my daughter is yelling at. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
That's perfect in the conversation
I love
that we're
it.
having because of the children.
Yeah, and
1 second, baby. Okay.
And that's the epitome of a mom who does it all.
Well, if you think about it, you know, here I have the studio in my home, and the other day my wife comes down to kiss me bye. She has the grandbaby, and the grandbaby, we normally don't let her just walk around in the studio, so she picks up a Shure 58 microphone and starts walking around, and because she watches me talk on the mic so much, she's walking around with a Shure mic and she's talking. So I whipped out the camera to video it because it's hilarious. She is up on the mic because she hears me tell people, get closer to the mic, get closer to the mic. So she's got it up to her lips and she's talking and she's walking around with a microphone. She's just, it's going to be in her nature. She's growing up with it.
I love it.
Yeah, that's what she thinks she's supposed to be doing.
That's
you
right.
know? That's neat.
So when we bringing up the word growing up, explain how you got into this, because there's a lot of people out there that don't know who you are, and explain to them, you know, exactly how they can find you as far as Facebook. Make sure they get all the information on you as they can, but, you know, explain how you got into this, especially having 3 kids and juggling it.
Okay, well, I don't know. When I was a little girl, I wanted to do this. I guess kind of like you just said about your granddaughter watching you do it. And I watched my grandpa do this, and I wanted to do it. And I remember being a little girl and coming up with melodies. Although at the time I didn't realize I was coming up with them and singing them. I was doing it. You know, it was just kind of a natural thing. It wasn't until later on in life that I realized I was writing these melodies. So, my mom was very spiritual, and so I almost have 2 extremes on my family. My mom's very spiritual, and of course my dad's side's very spiritual too. My mom is very how do I say this? She's a minister, so she spends a lot of her time in ministry. And when I was 19 years old, I really how do I say this? I kind of wanted to go with how my mom expected me to live my life. So I got married, and really young, I knew that she didn't want me living with my boyfriend. Oh, I just found a feather. she didn't want me living with my boyfriend out of wedlock. So we got married and had kids, and of course they inspired me to write all these songs. I started writing songs and getting out there, and then my grandpa, of course, was real supportive, and he sang on the Moon song with us after we wrote that song. And my daughter's following me around. Thank you, baby.
That's what I deal with too.
Yeah.
So, and my grandpa sang on the Moon song, and that one's on our EP. He's featured on it. He sings and plays on it. And of course, every time I hear that, it's just a surreal moment for me that I just hear him play on there. Of course, we're on the Facebook. We're putting singles out. Of course, it's Raylan Nelson Band, at Raylan Nelson on Twitter. And it's Raelyn, is how you spell my name. And, oh, God, did I throw anything out? Let's see. My dad is Willie's son. He was on the bus with Papa Willie, and my mom was one of those radio promotion girls when she was younger. She wasn't always a holy roller. Let's just say that. So before she was holy roller, she was one of those radio promotion girls, and she was working at the radio station that my grandpa came through and did an interview, and my dad was on the bus, and they met and fell in love and got married and had me. And and luckily they did.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And you did Farm Aid last year, or you did Farm Aid 2014. How was that?
Yeah, so I drove down to Knoxville to see one of my grandpa's shows, and we were sitting on the bus just hanging out, and he said, "Hey, why don't you play Farm Aid this year?" And it was like a month after, or like a month before Farm Aid was happening. I was like, "Oh, yes, I would love to. Oh my gosh." So we did get to play that, and of course that was the biggest I've ever played on so far, and one of the biggest performing moments of my life. So
that's just wicked cool right there. I mean, just to be able to walk up like that and just have that opportunity, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was so cool, and he, he's so supportive, and he tries to jump in and let us play as much as he can, and it's just, I'm so grateful for that, and just to have his support behind it makes me, gosh, he's so good. He's a great songwriter, and for him to tell me that to keep writing songs and that he likes my songs, just, I don't know what else I can't stop doing it, and it's cool to be able to actually wrote this song together over text message a few months ago, and that was cool too. So it was called Ocean, My Beach. It was kind of a silly song at first, and then it turned into a really serious one. But yeah, it's cool to have that kind of relationship with him, and I didn't get to have much of a relationship with my dad because he died when I was 7. So it's cool to be able to connect with that family, and of course I always feel close to my dad. And my dad sends me feathers. Anytime I see a feather, I feel like my dad's near. I actually just got one talking to you guys. I found one on the ground.
That's cool.
That is very cool. And
but he's around, and so that's cool.
And you also did.
Anyway, we have a new single coming out. I should talk about my new single.
Yeah, so that's what I was just ready.
Coming out called Sweetwater, and it's my summer song. It's just in time for fall. But it's so y'all are familiar with the brewing company Sweetwater in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
So they have a beer that they brew called Sweetwater 420.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan of it. And I guess it was in the summer. It was earlier this year. We were sitting outside, and I was drinking some Sweetwater 420, and couldn't stop drinking it. We were just sitting outside in the sunshine, and it was so good, and it was going down really fast. And okay, so this is last year, because then it started getting cold, and I was like, I'm in summertime. I want to write a summer song. So I started writing the summer song, and picked that moment of sitting outside in the sun drinking that Sweetwater where I couldn't stop drinking it. And so that's basically where the song came from. And it's just a real fun summer song, and it's coming out. We're working on the video right now, trying to get it out really quickly. So that's what's coming up next.
And then you also
Did I just ramble way too much?
No. You also have a show
you fit
coming
in with
up.
the way we talk, so that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us about your show that you've got coming up.
Okay, so we're playing at Brewing on the Bricks tonight at, I don't even know what time we're playing, but we're playing there. You might know better about where it is in Atlanta than I do. And that's pretty much all I know. I'm supposed to drop the kids off at some friend's house so they can play today, and then I'm going to go grab the band and we're going to hit the road.
But the good thing is you can definitely, again, before we hang up with you, tell people how to find you on Facebook. That way they can keep up with it too, because I know your page has to be just like mine. I was just, we have a live YouTube feed. So I was scrolling your page and letting the people that are, watching the video, and also the people that can watch it later this evening can find how to find you. So the good thing is if you post on there your events and things like that, they can keep up with you, find out, when you're going to do stuff like what you're doing today, and gigs that you're going to do, and Farm Aid. I mean, golly, Farm Aid, that is just like off the top of some of the cool things to be part of. So
I know. And then November 7th, we're supposed to come back to Atlanta and play the Country Music Festival with Tim McGraw and Rascal Flatts. And
wow.
Yeah, a couple other people too.
That's some cool stuff right there.
I love Rascal Flatts.
Yeah, we got some really exciting stuff happening, and yeah, y'all should keep up. Please keep up, and we try to post lots of videos and lots of pictures.
Right.
I am obsessed with the social media.
Raylan,
I like your band page and also following your personal page. Doc, I do the same thing. At least that way we can keep up with you a little more.
So Raylan, how can our listeners follow you? What's your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff?
Okay, so the Facebook is Raylan. My personal one is Raylan Nelson, and it's spelled Raelyn, all one word, Raylan Nelson. And then the band page is Raylan Nelson Band. And then on Instagram, I am at Raylan Nelson Band. And I just use that one as my personal one. And then Twitter is at Raylan Nelson.
Perfect.
And anybody that's on my Facebook page, I just shared her band link as far as the Facebook page and also her personal. Of course, with her personal, she can only, accept X number of friends, but you can at least follow her to keep up with her daily stuff and then also keep up with the band on the band page.
And I do check my Facebook messages when I can. It isn't very often. I don't have a Facebook Messenger thing, but I do check get on there and messages and try to respond back to people who reach out. I do that for my grandpa. He lets me work for him for his website so that I can do this and homeschool my kids and try to make a living as an artist as well. So I'm very used to responding back to fans. If you email my grandpa's website, it's me who's going to respond back to you. So
you keep saying grandpa.
I do try to get back to you.
Keep in mind, not everybody knows who your grandpa is. So tell everybody who your grandpa is, because not everybody knows who you are yet.
Oh, okay. Well, my grandpa is Willie Nelson, that guy with the braids and the bandana.
I mean, isn't that just kind of cool?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever really thought about it? Because I know from a weird standpoint, of course, being my child is nothing compared to you being, Willie Nelson's granddaughter. But I know, like, in our area, a lot of the people that keep up with us and keep up with all the things, they pay attention to my page. So one day my daughter, who was working at Justice, which is a child's clothing store, as my daughter thought, DJ Scotty, you're such an old weird dude. My daughter just didn't think anything I did was cool, that I was lame, and she was 16 at the time. So she's sitting there working, and as she's getting ready to check out, a girl goes, we just love your dad. And she's like, excuse me? And they're like, you're Emmy, DJ Scotty's daughter. And she's like, yeah. Oh, we just love your dad. We keep up with everything he does. Now, the first time, she's just kind of like, this is strange. Now it's happened so many times because she went from there to Shoe Carnival. And now she actually works in a whole different county where she tries to hide from who I am because she kept getting this, oh, great stuff. So, I mean, in a weird way, I guess with you, it's kind of like, oh, my God, you're Willie Nelson's granddaughter,
Yeah, it's you have to get a little bit extra stares or extra attention from it. But it's just I get it. It's interesting, but of course I'm not Willie Nelson, and I can't connect anyone to him.
Right.
If anybody tries to get to him through me, I'm like, you have to go through his publicist.
Yeah, you gotta go through that.
In fact, I have the actual standard response memorized from the emails that I send out.
What is that?
But thank you for writing.
Oh.
Let's see.
Well, see, we've
Willie's
had to...
manager, Mark Rossbaum, has asked me to respond to your request and let you know that Willie is unavailable. Yeah, so.
See, I've had to teach the people around us.
We do respond to everyone.
Right.
We do try to respond to everybody. And and he does have, my cousin's working on his website too. So it's one thing he's taught me is to be personable with everyone.
Yes.
Because that's what life's about, is inspiring each other, because you never know how they're going to inspire you.
That's right.
You know?
And the biggest thing is and it's no different than me saying my listeners, because your listener base is the same way. Without the listeners, you're nobody. And I always have to explain that to people, because I've had people work with me on the show that start getting big egos. And my famous line that I look at them and go, look, if anybody should be cocky here, it should be me. It shouldn't be you. And if I'm not cocky, you damn sure shouldn't be. Because if you don't have listeners, you're just an average person pumping gas. You're just an average person at the grocery store. You're just an average person walking in the Walmart. I mean, we're still average to begin with, don't get me wrong. But without your listeners, they don't know who you are, and they don't care who you are if you're going to be rude to them.
Yep, that's exactly right. Papa Willie says, be kind and compassionate to everyone, especially your fans.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, Raylan, we know that you've got a boogie on out and get the kids all situated. Looking forward to your show. I will actually be on the road myself, or I would come out and check you out this weekend.
Okay.
So maybe next time you're in town, I can get out and see you, because I love supporting our female artists. Love, love, love it.
Oh, yeah. Doc, we've created a show called Ladies Talk to help promote women to be stronger and not be so, I mean, God, I sound like I'm fixing to sound like Doc, but not be so codependent. You know, I tell my daughter every day, you don't have to have a boyfriend. You don't have to have a boyfriend to make a living. You don't have to have a boyfriend to have this job. You don't have to do any of these things, because she's 19. I'm like, do you not realize at 19, you have one brain set. When you turn 21, you change your thought process a little bit. 25, 30, 35. I'm like, don't think that, you know, it'd be great if you fell in love and stayed with one guy your entire life. That'd be great. Don't get me wrong. But don't think that what you have now is going to last you the rest of your life. You need to grow and become this beautiful person. And we try to inspire that, you know, totally with the Ladies Talk, because we want ladies to realize that you don't have to be this way. You aren't the only one that thinks this way. So we want to show that there's no men on, and all the ladies are free to say and talk. I call it the View on steroids is what it is.
Yes.
I love it.
That's
I
the
love
best
that.
way to describe
how do you listen to it on the internet?
Yeah.
How do we listen to that?
Yeah, you can listen to it from a .com, but also I have apps. So you can actually go to your Google or your Apple, depending on which device you're using. You can get it for tablets, the pads. There's so many ways now. And you just download
TuneIn Radio.
Yeah, TuneIn Radio. You just download Just for Fun Radio, and that's the number 4 instead of the word. So Just for Fun Radio, and then you can listen 24 hours a day.
And whenever you're in town, we would love to have you on Ladies Talk, because I think that, you know, just your whole story of everything, it would just be so empowering for so many women. And I want to get the word out about homeschooling so much.
Well, the fact that she's juggling 3 children, band life, mother life, wife life. I mean, look at what she's doing.
No wife life. I did get divorced.
Okay, well, I wasn't trying to get all into.
Dependent.
Okay, so you are really falling under
just so you know, no boyfriend since the divorce.
Cool.
And I love it. It's like, because I got married at 19 years old. I didn't give myself a chance to even
grow,
decide who I wanted to be.
See?
Well, I gotta you gotta come to Ladies Talk.
What you are is what I preach to my daughter. So you are a role model to what my daughter needs to see, because I've tried to explain just kind of what you just said. I've tried to explain to my daughter. I'm like, honey, there is so much out there in this world. Like, I'm an electrician. I got out of school and was really, I'm OCD, so I was really good at doing electrical work, and I'm hyper, so I really did it fast. I made a great chunk of money. I worked my butt off, kept advancing, but never really did what I wanted to do. I just did what I was good at. And the next thing I know, I get in a car wreck in 2000, and it changed my world. And then some other stuff happened, and construction and everything changed, and now I run and own a internet-based radio station. This is not where I pictured I was going to be. This is where I wanted to be as a kid, but I let life dictate where I was going to be. And really, you can't let life dictate where you're going to be. You have to dictate where you're going to be.
And for some reason, at 19 years old, I didn't get that, you know, and
Yep.
I understand how other 19-year-olds don't get. I have a sister that lives with me, and she helps me out a lot with my children, and she rents a room for me, and she's 19, and she's very smart, but, you know, she's also 19 years old.
Yes.
So I try to say the same things to her, or try to be that role model for her. And so far, she hasn't had a boyfriend in about a year, and she's kind of been like, I like this, you know, just doing my own thing and going to school and figuring out what I'm going to do. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes,
Awesome.
yes, and just praying that it keeps going that way.
And as odd as this is, because I'm just an analogy guy, I always make little sayings, but I try to tell people, you know, all my friends that complain that they're single, they're like, oh man, life sucks. I said, look, let me tell you something. I've been with some bad relationships before I met my wife. And I always say it this way. I would rather be piss poor miserable alone than be piss poor miserable with somebody, because I can be miserable alone and go, okay, I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going to go buy a movie at Walmart. I'm going to go see a movie. I'm going to go hear a band play. I'm going to go walk on the trail. Now that you're miserable alone, I get it. But if you're miserable with somebody, you're sitting on a couch next to a person that you're not communicating with. When y'all do communicate, you're nasty with one another, and you're miserable, and or you're trying to stay together for the kids. You're making your life miserable. You're making your wife or vice versa. Y'all are making each other's life miserable, and your kids are not going to be that happy either. So it's like, if I'm going to be miserable, I'm going to at least have the freedom of choice. So, you know, that's just one way of looking at it.
And there's also those times that I felt lonely. It seems like it's not too long after that I'm driving and I pull up next to the light and I look over to the car next to me, and it's a couple that's screaming at each other and arms are flailing.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, thank you, God, that's not me today. That's not
right.
me.
That's right. You hear my dog going off. We have a guest fixing to come in. Stick her in that laundry room for a second. Yeah, you got to think I'm running a studio and out of the house. And you know what? You're living is exactly how I live. You know, we're trying to juggle the father, the business, the radio, the everything. So just go tell him, hang on. Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. It's good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, look, we got to get out of here. I actually got another guest that's coming in now. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay.
And I'm going to get Doc.
I enjoyed talking to you guys.
Oh, it's so awesome. You're so personal. And that's the thing I try to tell people as a business. That's what sells. You know, used to everything was glam, but nowadays what sells is real personalities and the fact that people can relate to you. When they can relate to you, things are 10 times better. So that's the biggest thing. I try to make sure everybody understands. Come on, Doc, hurry up and get back over here and say bye.
I want to know more about Ladies' Night, too.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about Ladies' Night.
Well, I'm going to get Doc.
Okay,
Get
I'm back.
Doc, what Doc will do is get Doc. Doc will send you a private message on Facebook, and then that way y'all can stay in, because just like today, even though you have a gig tonight, you know, maybe next Thursday, if you're free, you can call in and kind of explain to people who you are, because she has a whole demographic that can't listen in the daytime because they're at work.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah, so I sent you a friend request, so we will definitely chat more. I would love to have you in studio, and you know, because your energy is just incredible. So definitely want to connect with you more.
Y'all's too. Y'all's made the day start off awesome. Thank you for that.
Oh man, sounds great.
Best
That's both
interview
ways. All right.
Thanks, Raylan. All right, have an awesome day, darling.
You too. Bye.
All right, enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That right there was Raylan. I'm gonna make sure I don't, because it's one word. I didn't want to pronounce it and say it 2 words, because Doc wrote it down like 2 words, and she has to remember that I'm dyslexic, so don't mess me up. But Raylan Nelson Band. So there's not a "the" in front of it. It's just Raylan Nelson Band. I did share it on my Facebook. Make sure you go check it out. Everybody, it's time for us to shoot off to a commercial. We got just a little bit behind. Hey, it happens, and we're okay with that too. Don't get us wrong. It's just for fun in the morning. Everybody hang tight. We'll have some good music coming up. I'm going to have one song after a couple of sponsors, and then we'll be right back. It's just for fun in the morning.
Okay, so Bella is just in the room.
I know. I got to go lock her.
Okay.
The phone call went a little longer than I expected. Hang on just 1 second there, Kurt. You know, she reminded me of Aaron Hill a lot.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm Doc. Nice to meet you.
Well, see, I wasn't sure what you were wearing, because she has a thing where she doesn't like hats,
I wouldn't wear that.
large guys, and if you're dressed in black. So because I didn't know what you were wearing, I'm like, go grab the dog, go get the dog, just in case. Because some of my friends have come in and have on like their black fatigue pants, a hoodie, and their hat. Because if she can't see your eyes, oh my God.
It's on.
Yeah, how's it going, man? It's good to meet up with you. And then what? Oz came in one day. Her bed laying right here. Yeah. Commissioner comes in. Jake took the curtain, and I have another curtain I pull here when we do the show. She's laying right there. He goes to snatch up the curtain and gets about here and looks down and she's growling. And both of them don't know what to do. Like, she doesn't know if she's supposed to growl. He don't know if he's supposed to run. And he ran right back out the door. All right, let me speak. You can sit down to that seat right there. Oh my God. Right here.
Move up one.
How long have you guys been doing this?
Scotty has been at it since my contact falls out as he goes to that. Scotty's been doing this about 5 years.
Okay.
And I was going to put my contact back in, but he's taken the dog off the thing. Only Scotty. But I came in, I met Scotty about 4 years ago when he very first started doing this, and we met through a dog rescue.
Okay.
Because there was a dog running down the road that I was trying to catch was a parent at the high school. And so Scotty scooped the dog up for me. My contact fell out my eye. Shut up.
I
can't get past that dog story.
Well,
I heard how long have we been doing it? Not how did you meet Scott chasing a dog? Hurry up and do your contact. Let's
I'm
get back
not
to work.
talking to you.
No, this year it'll be October will be 2 years on the morning show.
Yeah.
It's freaking light. October makes 2 years on the morning show, but November makes 5 years for the radio station. So, dude, just growing. It's hard. It's not so hard now because we've been established, you know, and more people are knowing about us. But when I told my mom I was going to build this, she's like, "Are you crazy?" You know, like, because I'm from the world of construction, and construction was dying, and I already was DJing, and she's like, "Don't sink any money into this." She's like, "It's never going to work." And I said, "Mama, I'm telling you, this is going to be the future. This is where everything's going."
It's going to have to be.
And now,
XM radio and the satellite and all those are going to be dead. There's a few people right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's going to change regardless with apps and all that.
that's right. So at the time,
And that radio's perfect.
yeah, at the time that I was starting this, you know, XM had already been out. Sirius, rather, had already been out for a while. And I was doing my electrical work and was doing remodeling and had the Sirius in the truck and kept listening to it all the time. And then as crazy as it is, this is like 06, 07. This guy, it's an old Vietnam vet, had an internet radio station. He's lower than what I've built, of course. And I just happened to hear him playing one day, and I tuned into what he was doing. I saw his post, went and read it, went and listened. Said, "Man, this is where I want to do." I sent him a message saying, "Hey, you know, how'd you get into this?" And just so happens, my computer was hooked up to the TV, and I was watching a movie, and I was in between movies, and I was showing this girl that was there with me watching the movie. I was showing her the radio station. I said, "Man, I'd love to get into this." And he went live on the mic. It said, you know, something to the effect of, "Hey, this goes out to my buddy in Atlanta, DJ Scotty. You know, I hear about all these big bike events you do and this, blah, 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 blah. And this is where you need to be. This is the business you need to be in." And I just basically looked up and said, "Oh, this is what I'm fixing to build right here." And then I just started building. But I've taken it to a level bigger than podcasters ever could.
I can't stand you.
But, you know, like we've had a lot of big actors and stuff come in, and in their mind, people don't know what internet radio is. Everybody thinks they know what a podcaster is. So I've had people pull up in this driveway, come walking around the house. And then when the curtain opens and they come in, they go, because then they realize you're in a big studio.
Yeah.
So they sit down and they go, oh my God, like Big John Cap. He said, oh my God. He's like, this is awesome. He says, I was pulling up to somebody's house. They were in the basement of grandma's house or their mom's house, and they're sitting around in underwear podcasting. And I went, no. And he's like, oh my God. So usually you get that shot because usually I got a curtain that goes that way because people take pictures. And if you take a picture, I don't want all that seen. So they'll come through the door curtain and then they go, oh. And then when they open that curtain, they go, oh. And then a lot of people that don't really know what I have just sit here. And then like some of my DJ friends have walked in and go, oh my God, you know, you've got a full setup because they realize what they're looking at. Some people don't realize what they're looking at.
Like I said, I started, like I said, on a podcast.
See, podcasters unite.
I started on a podcast, and you know, that was before I got my internship and to learn the radio industry.
Before he learned.
You know, screw this podcast. BS.
See?
I'm going to go on and do bigger and better things.
All right, let's go. We're going back live now. Throw those headphones on. I'll get you turned in. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's about average but Mike's hard of hearing. So
Yeah, that's all right.
if I leave his sitting on the table, you hear him bleeding over on Mike's.
Yep.
All right, everybody, we are back. I'm sitting here laughing because Doc usually throws up her little wand in the air and, you know, Wonder Twin powers activate and the blah, 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 blah. And I just heard, you know, a podcast joke.
You know what? See, while you cracking on the podcasters, I'm going to a podcasting conference tomorrow, and I will be speaking at a podcasting conference.
Can I explain something to you about podcasters versus DJs? This is a stupid thing to say, but it's accurate. All you podcasters are like lovey-dovey to everybody because neither one of y'all are like a threat to each other because it's podcasting. I mean, what are you a threat to?
Right. We don't compete for listeners.
That's like popcorn being jealous of peanuts at a movie theater. I mean, what in the hell are you going to do? You're popcorn and he's peanuts. Unless we put you together with some caramel and call you a Cracker Jack, you're just popcorn and peanuts. Unless you're at a Braves game and a guy's trying to sell you a hot dog too. You know, popcorn, peanuts, Cracker Jack. Okay, anyways, you took a minute. You podcasters take a little longer. But most radio DJs and club DJs, they don't communicate. And I don't understand why, because to me, it's kind of stupid. I'm no threat to anybody. Well, maybe. But the way I look at it is, like, I've tried to unite some of the DJs a couple years back, and that's how me and Tubby kind of actually met, because he said he remembers reading what I typed. And I said, look, DJ Wade wants to play clubs. I don't. I mean, I like doing my gigs in the bar at the time, but I didn't want to play clubs. Mm-hmm. If you want to be in that environment, that's where you want to be. I don't like doing 16-year-old birthday parties. Wade does. I don't. So Wade, if he had, you know, a 40-year-old birthday party, a 30-year-old birthday party, or a 60-year-old birthday party, he knows that's right up my alley. If I get 16-year-olds, I throw it right to Wade. I don't want it. I mean, it's not to be rude, but I'm just not that great at it because I don't agree to play dirty songs for kids. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying Wade does. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's my personal feeling on why I don't like doing it, because parents want me to play certain songs and they're like, one parent says they're cool with it. And I'm like, yeah, you might be cool with it, but that little girl over there's daddy might not be cool with it. So my moral of my story is a lot of DJs don't get along because of whatever reason. And me, I'm kind of like, dude, I don't want your business. Like, you do what you're good at and I do what I'm good at. You can't be me. We already know that. And I don't want to be you. So we're okay. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, but see, the thing about what a lot of people don't realize about podcasting and broadcasting, and this is why we're going to do a conference together next year, is when you combine the power of a podcaster who has built a network with the power of a broadcaster who has built a station, you've got a phenomenal powerhouse of social media leverage.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So
to that.
I was gonna say we got Kurt in the building. Kurt's how did you stumble on us, by the way?
Actually, you guys had Cheyenne Knight on, about a week and a half ago,
Yeah.
and I do a podcast out at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Well, excuse me, radio show, not a podcast.
I got somebody. But the bad thing is you play both sides of the fence.
Well,
so
yes,
you're
yes.
a good balance between the two.
Exactly. Like I said before, I was had my opportunity with the sports internship at Atlanta Sports Talk Radio 92.9 The Game. I was a podcaster, but as soon as I got done with the internship, I kind of transformed into being a radio personality instead of just being a podcaster.
Right.
Anybody can do a podcast. Like we were saying,
I'm sorry.
Down in the basement in your underwear, you can do that.
I just think it's funny because he plays both sides because he's done both, And I actually, what's funny is the 92.9 The Game, we went down there and you kind of took a tour for reasons I won't mention, but I loved it because at the time I was just trying to remodel this, and right now we're kind of in the middle of changing over computers and changing over boards, so we're a little bit messy. But I thought it was really cool that when I walked to their corner office, that's their major big, broadcast room, I'm going, man, my studio's just as good as theirs. Yeah. Like at first I thought, okay, here I am, the internet guy. I'm going to go see a big studio when I get there. And I was disappointed. And I'm not saying they don't have good stuff. Don't get me wrong.
No, they do have good stuff.
But I expected I expected me to be the redhead stepchild. And then when I saw their stuff, I'm like, I'm just a little brother. That's all I am. I'm just your little brother because I've already got the same mics, the same everything, except I don't have two guys sitting in a room looking through glass windows running the show because I'm having to do it all.
Soundproof glass.
That's right. So. They have one room with a table probably close to this size. I think they can fit 8 people around it maybe. 2 guys talking though. There wasn't 8 people in the room. Yeah. But then next to it about, I don't know, it's probably like a 10-foot wide room, maybe 12-foot wide room. And then next to that is like a 6-foot wide room with 2 guys doing all the technical stuff. Yep. So I thought, man, that's cool. But there's no reason for me to build a second room because I got to run it all. Yeah. One trick pony, one man show.
One man show.
Yeah. But I got lucky. I do have some people that are trying to help. And eventually we'll start making some money.
Well, but what I love about it, you talk about making the transition from podcasting to broadcasting. And I actually built one of the only LGBTQIA podcast networks. So I had 19 podcasters under me. And, so this stepping into this with Scotty was like kind of almost a logical transition for me.
Culture shock too.
It was a huge culture shock. Oh my gosh.
Because it's live.
Ooh.
And it's fast.
And there's a difference between pre-taped shows, which I'm used to, and like I said, doing a live show. So.
Oh yeah. Because if you're listening from the phone app, you are close to 30 seconds behind reality. I mean, there's no delay. I mean, like other radio stations have that delay, and there can be up to 10 minutes worth of delay because they have their dump buttons, and that doesn't exist with me. Yep. You're live. Like when you call in and you have us playing in the background, you'll notice that a couple of seconds into the conversation, you'll hear us behind you talking because that's how it works. Now we're roughly 30 behind on the reality of the radio app itself. But then from the video, it's like 46 to 47 seconds. I mean, it's so minute between 40 to that almost 50 seconds. So, yeah, it's reality.
Yeah. I
just ask people when they call in, don't F-bomb because I can't stop it. Yep. I mean, I'll just hang up and block your number and you'll never call again. But that's the one good thing is we do try to keep it PG-13, but we are allowed a little bit of gracefulness.
Yes.
Try to be.
And then you have the what do y'all call me, the grammar
Nazi?
Yeah, they call me the grammar Nazi.
Or afraid to
and
ask.
The PC police.
The PC police. She pulls off pretty well. For instance, ladies talk. It's spelled. Doc made me spell it LADIES.
Okay.
Because if you're insinuating that there's 5 ladies sitting around the table, that it's ladies. I tried to say that ladies talk should have been LADYS because in my brain, it's what your mom would tell you. or your dad would be like, son, just stay out of the kitchen. That's the ladies talk. That's how I looked at it. I'm like, it's ladies talk. And she's like, no, my friends they will tell us it's spelled wrong. I'm like, well, you need to tell your friends to eat some cake or something because it's ladies talk. It's just like if men are in the garage, don't go out there. It's a man's world. You know, it's that. But of course, leave it to her.
And the woman won. I mean,
and when I spelled my wife's name, DJ Smiles with a Z, she's like, that's spelled wrong. I'm like, Doc.
Well, ladies won, ladies get, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Because then my wife chose her side.
Of course. You know, Crystal and I are a power team. You might be the house, but we are the team that built the house. Just saying.
Well, I'll just close the doors. So what's up with you, man? What's going on with you? I mean, you listen. I guess you found us through Cheyenne Knight.
Yeah. Like I said, I did an interview with Cheyenne Knight probably maybe 6 or 7 months ago when she was doing a show. And, you know, phenomenal, you know, singer and phenomenal Rise to Star country artist as well. And I found her. I listened to it. I contacted you on Facebook, and you know, kind of gave a little bio. Right. Obviously, not a huge bio, but
enough to get you here.
Yeah, exactly. I've been doing my show, my sports talk show, the KJ Experience, and you know, a few months ago, me and a couple other colleagues from the Connecticut School of Broadcasting up in Lawrenceville, we actually got an opportunity to do a live show out in Covington at 14:30 a.m. It's called the Fan Zone every Friday from 12 to 1.
Okay.
And we're starting building that word for word. Make a long story short, there's 3 or 4 people in a small studio.
Yeah.
And it's aggravating to have, you know, you have a short amount of time trying to get everything in.
Right.
And you can't.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm trying to get, you know, my voice out there as an individual, and he doesn't like me doing certain things. And I've always said, you know, one of the people I idolize in this business is Howard Stern.
Right.
Love him or hate him.
That's right.
I enjoy the way that he talks. I enjoy the way that he interacts with his listeners. Right. And, you know, in the long scheme of things, you know, that's really my life right now. I'm trying to, you know, improve my craft, but on the other hand, I'm good at stuff, but I know that I can learn a lot more.
Oh yeah. And see me, what is so funny is I'm dyslexic. So I was never able to go to school. I wanted to so bad, and then life just dictated I was going to go a different direction. And then who knew technology was going to come to this point to where we can do this. And I love it. I absolutely love it. A lot of my stuff self-taught. Thank God I already was DJing. I already knew how to do a lot of the technical stuff. And having a personality makes a difference.
And like I said, I had a speech impairment when I was younger. So I had speech classes from kindergarten through all the way up to 8th grade.
I couldn't say S's.
I can't either. I can't say R's either.
My name was Cott Pence.
Oh.
So, and with me being ADHD and I was dyslexic, they kept saying, your child needs to go to special ed classes. He won't stay in his seat. My mom says because he's bored.
Right.
So then, then they tried to put me on Ritalin.
Yeah, that didn't work.
That didn't work. So yeah, and then I went to speech class for a while.
And like I said, I did
S's, man.
Like I said, now of course my mom's name, you know, going back to the old pro wrestling days, it's the Mouth of the South because I never shut up.
Right, and that's me. And then what's really bad is I already talk a lot when I'm comfortable with people.
Yeah.
But if I get nervous, I just
shut down.
No, he goes into overdrive.
I talk about stupid stuff.
Oh, just the opposite.
Like if I'm nervous, I talk about stupid stuff that I have nothing. I mean, put it this way. When I'm nervous, I talk like Military Mike. I just talk about anything, everything. We could be talking about, you know, the planet Mars is located. Hey, man, you know, I saw a baby cat one time over there.
And that's when I go, Scotty. And he goes, I'm nervous, right? I was like, yeah.
You just deal with it. And that's why I've let Doc do a lot of stuff. Because really, truthfully, if we've been growing to the point that I can't keep up. I just can't keep up. So it's a whole lot easier to go, please contact Doc. You know, plus if it's involving the ladies talk, it's her show anyway.
And it's
her and my wife.
If it's more than 2 lines on an email, Scotty is not going to read it. Okay. You know, and I love that.
I'm a direct person. Yeah. I'm just real direct. Get to your point, especially if I'm going fast. Because somebody else had sent an email the other day, and it's like da 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 da, and I read the first three sentences, and then I go to the last 3. And then if I feel I didn't figure it out in the last 3 sentences, I'll back up
I'm just
3 or 4.
I'm just going to write him a paragraph email and see if he reads
and
it.
see if I read it. No,
No, I'll get it.
I'll
get
forward it to her.
Yeah, he'll forward it to me.
And then I'll be like, call me back when you let me know what this says.
Yeah. And
Because
then
I just truthfully
it.
don't have truthfully is this I figure if we're in 2015 and we've gotten to this level, 2015, and every year at the beginning of the year I go, we're gonna kick it. We're gonna kick it this year. We're taking it up a notch. Yeah. And literally the beginning of 2015, I'm like, look, we're kicking this puppy up. Now I almost feel like when June got here, I'm like, is it 2016 yet? Did somebody forget to tell? Did I fall asleep? Because all of a sudden, it's like we went into high gear.
We went into I mean, when we launched Ladies Talk, and the thing about Ladies Talk and launching it with Crystal is Crystal had a phenomenal base, a phenomenal local listener base. Yeah. And and it didn't. No offense, Scotty, but Crystal's base had nothing to do with Scotty. It was just all Crystal because.
Well, Crystal has so many people because of what we, because we have 10 pages.
Right.
Because we have, okay, I'm just going to give a quick version. We have The God is Alive in Newton County because of that situation. Then she created Just For You. And that's just like Just For Fun spell, but it says Just For You. And it was about self-empowering women. And that's been open about 2 years. Then I did one when I was taking care of the homeless stuff that was called Just For Us. And everything stayed with the Just For. So you got lucky that Ladies Talk kind of got worded the way it did. But Krista already had her own little fan base.
Right. She had her fan
she
base.
was known as the first lady of Just Fun. She was known for being that supportive woman that took care of the house, the family, the kids.
And the community.
And took care of me.
Yeah. And then Crystal, and when Crystal and I are together, I call Crystal the closer. I'm the opener. She's the closer because Crystal can sell anything. And, that's honestly what's really kicked us into the next level.
It's the same philosophy that I've created with Just For Fun Radio by saying I try to put down a group of people on microphones so that, say today, we'll name Tom and Alan. We're just making up names. Yeah. So today, Tom's listening for the first time, and he says, man, I really dig what Doc's saying today. Yeah. And then might not be digging what Scotty's saying today. But then tomorrow, Alan's like, man, I'm really digging Scotty today. And Tom's like, no. And so, but I want it so that at least every day, even if you don't like me every day, you like one of us one day. I want it where everybody can relate because we had the female that you spoke to yesterday on the phone, who's supposed to be coming to the show tonight. When she talked to me, she said, I called in. She accidentally called me during the show. Didn't know the show was running that morning. We were going over a little bit. And so she started listening at that moment. And she said, it was really cool because I really like Doc's personality. She said, but then I hear you talking about life with the family and at the time I was talking about Waterhead taking his family to Jeep Fest and was, talking about family. She said, man, I really could relate to that. So I want where everybody can relate. I mean, at least somebody can relate to somebody. And if you're Stephanie, you're related to everybody. Come on, Doc. You got to laugh at that one.
Poor redneck Steph.
Poor redneck she made out with a cousin one time. Well, it was multiple times, but one time in her life.
She's ashamed of it already.
Well, no, I'm not redneck Steph.
No, redneck Steph didn't know she was going to bump into him at the family reunion. She had no idea it was her cousin. And then she's standing there with her aunt. Her aunt goes, I want you to meet so-and-so. And they both made eye contact like, oh, crap, that's who I went to second base with. And it wasn't in kickball. He was trying to slide into third, but trust me, it would have been a slide you could never. That'd be like the slide heard around the world. You'd never be able to take that one back.
Oh my gosh, Scotty!
Did I paint a mental image in your brain or something?
You get the fairy wand on that one.
So you turned into doing sports. Is that what you're saying?
Man, like I said, ever since I was probably 5 or 6 years old, I actually wanted to be on the TV side of things. And like I said, after I went into the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, I decided at the last second, I went in with the open mind.
Oh, yeah.
But I always said that I was going to be a sports anchor on TV. After doing the class, I was like, you know what? I can bring out more personality on the radio and not have to worry about the stupid teleprompter that goes up there. So that's why I decided to, go ahead and do the radio. Right. And obviously, the rest is history.
Well,
So-
I love it. I absolutely love it. This is what I was born to do.
So
I mean, and I look back now of when I was working in the bars and I was Kid Rock / Richard Pryor. I'm on the mic. I'm having a good time. Great. And when I say Kid Rock, it's because his stage presence and he makes you part of the show. And then Richard Pryor's mouth. People go, man, you were stern but funny. Like the things that you say, and this is because I see the world different. And I tell people, Scotty glasses for everybody. I want everybody to see the world different. And that's the thing I like about being on the radio part of things, because you have to paint an image in these people's brains. And like my buddy Chris with Ravens Renovation, he'll text me sometimes and go, I was hungry. Thanks. Because it's like, put the paintbrush down, because we'll start talking about food or something found at a restaurant and people are going, dude, could you shut up? Like the mental image that you just painted in my brain has scarred me. I will never eat there again. So that's the good thing about radio. And I try to explain to Mike all the time. I'm like, Mike, you have to paint an image, because these people are driving down the road. And if they're barely listening, they're not grasping it. You got to paint a little bit of an image, and it makes the showmanship 10 times better.
You got to have a personality.
Got to have a personality.
That's the number one key. And I did a MMA show at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I'm not going to plug them, but I did a show with them, and I'm no longer working for them because they thought I was too outspoken, to this, and at least I showed a personality.
It's MMA.
Well, yeah,
that's based on your outspoken ass whooping.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
sir, you need to tone that down. That's just a little too much. Wait a minute. Did that guy just choke the hell out of that dude?
And like I said, I grew up a professional wrestling fan as well.
So you should have the Gordon Soley.
Yeah, Mr. Shoot Promo was my nickname. I gave my co-host the nickname MMA Encyclopedia because he knows a lot more about MMA than I do. I know enough. But in the long scheme of things, I gave him that nickname. Now I'm like, dude, own that. Doesn't matter who you hurt,
That's
just
right.
own that name.
That's
Be
right.
obnoxious at times.
Yeah,
you don't have to be over the top. But
you were announcing. You were there announcing.
Well,
it?
I was there announcing a little bit also and doing.
No,
like
but what I'm saying is, y'all are there and it's live. It's happening.
Yes.
And what people don't understand is when you're here, you have to have a certain level of professionalism, but you got to be entertaining.
Yes.
When you're at an event, you got to be part of the event.
Yeah.
You can't just be a guy on a microphone. You got to be part of that event.
Yeah.
You're just as much as the entertainment as the guy in there in the ring is.
Yeah.
And if you from what you're saying,
Yeah.
you were doing exactly
what
what you were supposed to do.
In and
They
out of
just
the
didn't
studio.
see it.
In and out of the studio, though.
They just didn't see it.
No, they didn't. So they're
You gotta
struggling
have it.
right now. They're actually, I think on Facebook you can buy subscribers or buy likes or whatever. And the guy, I'm not going to mention names, but he obviously, did that, and he has like 8,000 followers. That's great, but only 10% of them are real.
Yeah, none of mine are bought.
So
None of mine are bought because I'm a cheap ace and I will not spend.
I won't spend.
They want like $20 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to spend $20 a day to get likes. If you like me, it's because you liked me or you liked the page. It's not because I bought you.
It's not
I want genuine. So Doc, Miss Numbers over here is always trying to get statistics. And I'm like, honey, I live in the real world.
Statistics are the real world, baby.
Y'all say that. I'm just saying I live in the real world.
They're just not part of your world.
I hate numbers. I go by what people tell me. I go by
Exactly.
I go by every time I talk to somebody, I say, what do you, and this is the thing that drives Military Mike nuts, because he doesn't realize I do this, even though I've said it a million times. When I go and talk to my sponsors, what do you like? What do you dislike? When I talk to the employees that work for the sponsors, when I'm talking to Chaz up at Raw's Performance, I ask him what he likes and dislikes. Yeah. And half the time I don't have to ask. He just tells me because he knows I'm going to ask anyways. Karen with Gravity was like, it drives me nuts you play all that 80s music. I'm a 70s. I said, yeah, but do you know how many people beg for the 80s? Like, I have no offense to anybody from the 70s. Kathy Bragg likes her 70s too. But I have tons of people that crave the 80s. They just want to hear the 80s music. So I have to play a little of everything. That's my motto is hang tight 3 or 4 minutes because there's going to be another song on. All of us that grew up in the 80s, 70s and 80s, we had flipitis. If you had the old knob turning tuner, and the weird little orange thing on a string that went left to right. I remember pushing the buttons and my mom going, "Quit pushing the buttons. You're going to break the string." Let's catch this just for fun. Hello.
Hello? Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I just wanted to get in before you close the show down.
Oh yeah, we're at the 10. We're probably gonna go over a few minutes. I'm not doubting that at all. So what's going on?
Right on.
This is the
I'm just
guru.
checking out the show. Oh yeah, that's right. Jacob from Tulsa.
Jacob from
The guru.
Tulsa. He is our guru. He has a magic wand. She has a fairy wand. Jacob just has this magic wand. When he gets on the keyboard and starts typing to bands, it doesn't matter what band it is. We can get them on the phone. So last night, how about you tell everybody what you said to me last night in a text message? This is actually going to be cool if you
I
can. Said,
I asked if you have a special edition of the morning show on a Saturday, if I could get Warrant, the band Warrant, to come in there. So I'm working on that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that would be
I mean, I don't do Saturdays. I don't work Saturdays, but we will have a Saturday show if Warrant will come into the studio. Like he had us with an interview with Hinder on the phone. We've already had bands. Like, it's funny, I got a bus in the front yard, but not like what Waylon rode up in. Like, Waylon's tour bus dropped them off at the mailbox and then went down to the road and parked until they left the studio.
Right.
And Waylon is a rock band. Jesse James Dupree is one of their promoters and stuff, or producers rather. So yeah, when you start seeing tour buses pull up in front of the house, dropping off the bands, you're doing something. We've had comedians from the Last Comic Stand in on the phone. Jacob's got us an author that has sold one of the most leading books in the nation. I mean, it's amazing. Jacob just has magic fingers. No wonder your wife loves you.
Oh my gosh, Scotty.
What? I just meant he could type some great love letters, dog. God.
That's right.
You're a perv if you thought I
Romantic.
meant anything other than that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you meant.
You are a perv. He writes great love letters, Doc. God.
That's
I'm
exactly
an
what I
Aquarius.
thought
What do
you
you
meant.
expect?
You better keep him away from your wife. With those fingers, he'll type her a letter.
Mercy.
You know what, Scotty?
I'm telling
On
you.
that note,
On that note, so Jacob, can you do your magic with Melissa Etheridge, because that she's like my girl crush.
Yeah, man. See if you can reach
I
out.
did.
to her.
I have sent her a message. I haven't heard back from them yet, but I did hit them up too. So
Do you want me to
I
go
tried
out
to
there?
get them. I tried to get you a shout out for your birthday when you're at the concert, but that didn't work out. So
Aw.
I was
Jacob's
gonna work
the
out.
man, dude.
tried to
That's
work
what we
that
call him
out.
the guru.
See, yeah, I love Melissa Etheridge. I can go out there to her house if you need me to, Jacob. You just
I thought the TPO prevents you from doing that. I thought that whole aggravating stalker thing. Like,
Wow.
like
Yeah,
when she
accessory to
calls,
that.
yeah, when she calls in, Doc, I'm gonna have to mute your mic because in case you don't know this, a TPO means you can't have any contact, whether it be first person or third person. So
Right.
I will have to mute your mic and probably blur you out of the video, because I would hate for one of her people to see it on video and you're like waving with a big card like you would have at the airport asking for Melissa's here to pick up Melissa.
no. See, I would just take my bra
Wow.
off and write my phone number inside
Jesus
my
Christ.
bra.
You've done that once. That's why they threw it back at you. Yeah, that's where the TPO came from. You wasn't supposed to have a rock inside the bra. I know you thought that it added weight, it would land better on the stage, but truthfully, I think you hitting her in the head with it was offensive. And it was sweaty. I don't think she liked
Oh,
that
man.
either.
And Kirk, none of that
Oh,
happened.
mercy.
I'm not holding judgment yet.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, let us roll out of
Right
here.
on,
I know
y'all.
we're going to go over a few minutes, but thanks for calling in.
No problem.
All right, see you later.
Free Suge Knight.
Free Suge Knight. Oh my God. So we started the whole Free Suge Knight movement because no matter what kind of guy he is, everybody hates who they want to hate. But my problem is if I would have been pulling up into Popeye's Chicken and somebody come at me with a gun, I'd have drove over him too. I would have pulled Eddie Murphy. I'd have been like, "Boop, boop, boop. Hey man, I think you hit something. Put it in reverse. Boop, boop, boop. Yep, you hit something. Put it in drive. Boop, boop, boop. Let's get out of here."
Oh my gosh.
He would have looked like Griswold's
gosh.
Vacation. I'd have had a leash dragging from the bumper. Hey man, did you have somebody back there? There's a belt.
No.
I'm not sure. Did I do that? I don't recall.
Did I do that?
So this thing in Covington. So you are doing it. So every week.
I am doing it just every Friday from 12 to 1, 14:30 a.m. WGSF.
I didn't even know they had anything.
Yeah,
in Covington. How sad is that?
It's a low signal, and that's really the main.
So it's
problem.
an AM station.
Yeah, it's an AM station.
Where's it located?
It's right there, just downtown. You know, obviously you take 81 all the way down from Loganville. I live out in Loganville, so just take 81 down straight. Over 20, what have you. It's downtown Covington, the old school.
Man,
town.
I need
I'll
to
give
go
you the
find it.
address.
I didn't even know it existed.
I'll give you the
know
address.
It existed either.
It's more like a Christian music station, but
Yeah,
because
but
we
that'd
have
still
some
be cool,
we
though.
have some contacts,
Right.
us, me and the host of it, dude. So that's why we were
I need
able
to go
to
down
do
and
it.
meet these cats because I think they set up one time in front of
But-
Kroger,
Oh.
and my wife went out and was talking to him or something.
Your spot here has easily is 10 times better than what the
Good
what
Lord,
the
I just
BS
like to
that I
go
have
see
do.
it. I just like to go see it.
So,
And I mean, I'm not trying to get any of their competition. They're
No,
not.
just
but if
to
I can
see what's
help
out
them,
there,
just
yeah.
if I can help them do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Just
Because
to see
I mean,
what's
I
out
got
there.
my own. I do events and go all over town. I'm always on the road. Goofing off and doing what I do. So I mean, I'm constantly meeting people, so it's never a bad thing to meet anybody. And then you were doing sports with them as well.
Yeah.
So, and we attempted to do sports, but Brad, not that we have a problem with Brad. I don't mean it this way, but Brad works at a dentist office, and he just relocated to another dentist office where I'm assuming it's a promotion because he's busy now.
Yeah.
So he hasn't had time to do sports, but he was going to start doing sports with us. And we were talking about doing like a Saturday morning or something like that. Yeah. And it just never panned out. And it's not because it didn't pan out with me and him. It's because personal life, he started getting a better job and a busy life, so to speak. So we were trying to do a sports thing because I'm not a sports person. I love. There's nothing better than picking on UGA fans.
Oh, I love it.
I love
you and I already are
picking on
best
UGA
friends.
fans. And Brad is like Falcons, Hawks, and UGA. So every time he posts something with the UGA, I send over a Georgia Tech. Or he shows a red, black, something. I'm like, dude, isn't that supposed to be blue and green? I mean, blue and yellow. And then one day he posted something about the Hawks. And I'm like, magic, And I send back stuff like the Clippers, or I don't even know teams. I just start sending stuff back just to mess with them. And he's like, that ain't funny. And I'm like, really? Because I'm laughing right now.
And like I said, you and I are already liking one another.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't stand Georgia fans.
Oh, see,
So.
my biggest gripe with Georgia fans, 99% of the Georgia fans did not finish high school. That's my
true, too.
team, man. As they're walking through the trailer park, popping another beer, and I'm like, you didn't even finish the 9th grade. What are you talking about? That's your team. You didn't go there. You may have accidentally driven by it one time.
Yeah, and like I was saying, the Georgia and former UGA quarterback David Green back in the early 2000s, and we know him personally. I'm not going to bash him here a little bit, but if he didn't throw a football 60 yards, he would never got into Georgia because he was dumb as a doornail.
Oh my God.
When it comes to students.
But you've seen and heard stories like that forever. And look, Joe Leeper just says, I don't even like bowling. Oh my
I've been going
God.
since I was 10.
And I got Leave Georgia Alone. Trust me, they are alone with their goats.
No, that's Grayson High School.
What? I'm just making jokes.
And I went to Georgia.
I know. Here's how bad she is. Your education was so good that she went to Georgia, came here to party one time because they didn't card you to drink.
Yeah. They don't. Downtown Athens, they don't card you at all.
Yeah, but that was her reason for moving to Conyers
That was
when
my
she
reason for
graduated.
moving to Conyers.
Wow.
That education did you so
much.
That education did you so good, Doc.
It's not the dog nation, it's puppies.
I'm
nation.
leaving UGA and I'm moving up in this world. I'm moving to Conyers.
so that I cannot be carded when I drink.
With the horse park
And now-
instead of Sanford Station.
Right. And now she's old enough that it doesn't even matter.
Right. And now I'm like, I can't believe I really wanted to move somewhere just because they weren't carding me.
Yeah.
Because it
That
never.
education
Yeah.
was so good. Oh my God.
You can be 16 years old and get a drink in Athens.
See, it didn't used to be like that though. Athens used to be locked down.
Oh, it's not anymore.
Not anymore.
Trust me.
Wow.
I had friends sophomore year of high school that went down and got
Just
drinks
to
in the
party
bar
for that,
just a party, and they're 16, 17 years old, and they walk
And
into bars.
hook up with older guys.
Wow.
Not much older, because most of them are 19 and 20. You know? Or you find the one college student that's
What happens
28.
in Athens stays in Athens.
Yeah. Well, except for herpes, it goes home with you.
Exactly.
Herpes doesn't stay anywhere.
Wow.
It travels right along with you.
Well, Rockdale County actually has a higher incident of STDs than Athens, Georgia.
Well, that was because of the lost children.
Yeah, them lost children.
They got found, though.
They got found with a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, I was dying laughing because back when Circuit City was open over near the theater, one of my buddies, I shouldn't even call him a buddy, but he was a helper. And me being an electrician driving the van, he was the helper. So we're walking through Circuit City, and a cousin of mine was standing there. And, I knew her, but didn't really know her.
Yeah.
And her name was Stacy Austin, for anybody that knows her. And she was a heritage student or something along that. And so this guy starts going, man, that girl's hot. And he's staring at her and talking about her butt in these tight shorts. And I look over and I go, oh, hey, Stacy. So I get to talking to her. And a few minutes later, he's looking at her talking. And then he goes, aren't we supposed to be leaving? And I was like, yeah, okay. So we get in the van. I said, look, dude, she's my cousin and all. So if you do hook up with her, just don't tell me about it. He goes, oh, you ain't got to worry about me hooking up with her. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I'm driving. So I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad I've helped her electrician. I'm glad we got this understanding. He's like, oh no, dude, she's one of them lost girls. And I went, excuse me?
Yeah.
He's like, lost children of Rockdale. And I went, I'm unaware of what you're talking about. He said, your cousin's been on television, dude. I was like, huh? And then he explained it, and I had to go ask my family, and I'm like, what in the hell am I missing? Because I didn't know about any of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways, there went that whole conversation down the crapper.
I haven't heard Circuit City's name in a long time. I used to work there when I was 16.
I actually liked them. I liked them better at the time than Best Buy because they actually knew their products. And the people at Best Buy didn't. The Best Buy prices were better. The warranty was better. But at least at Circuit City, yes, they were working on commission. Yes, they were hustling to sell you the stuff. Yeah. But they at least had to know their product. Yeah. I go into Best Buy now, and I go to ask a question, and hell, I know more than the guy that's answering my question.
Yeah, and like I said, Borders and Media Play and some of those places had horrible prices. That's why they didn't last.
That's why they didn't last. So it is what it is. Well, look, we got to get this puppy, get it rolling out of here, man. Doc just hooked up with older girls. That was from Denise. I don't know what story Denise knows that would. I don't know what she knows.
Denise. I love you.
Denise needs to explain it.
Silence is golden.
Come on, Lucy. You got some explaining to do.
Silence is golden, Denise.
No, only your pee's golden. The truth needs to be told.
Truth will set you free.
That's right. Well, sometimes it might get you locked up, but hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here.
That's fine.
And I will see y'all on Monday, hopefully.
You tonight?
Oh, yeah. Tonight, lady.
Jeez.
Okay, so
tonight,
what day is it?
It's
Thursday, dude. Come on.
Thursday. Well, my mind is in the car headed to New Jersey right now.
Okay, so you're going to New Jersey for?
I'm going to New Jersey for the Mid-Atlantic Podcasters Conference, and I'm actually going to be a speaker, one of the speakers up there, and I'm going to talk about From Pain to Podcasting, how to launch a social justice podcast.
We're talking about podcasts again.
Yeah.
We're talking about podcasts.
But they got cool hors d'oeuvres. I can't get us to sit around and do anything besides this.
So, yeah, I'm excited about that. Tonight, ladies talk. I'm excited about our topic tonight. And Scotty, you actually inspired the topic tonight.
Oh, God.
That's not a good sign.
I know. What is it?
Tonight's topic.
Your old man who farts on the couch.
Well, no, tonight's topic is faking it and frenemies.
Oh, yeah. Frenemies. Oh, yeah. And when I told the girl that's coming tonight, and God, I'm so bad with names. But when I spoke to her last week, the young lady last week, something got said, and I said, "Oh, you so need to be there next week." I said, "Because we're doing a show about frenemies," and she says, "Oh my God, that's exactly where I'm at right now." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you need to listen to it."
Yeah, because Scotty, when Scotty and I first
I got lots of frenemies.
Scotty had this weird impression that women were like all kumbaya and that we all sat around and we all talked and all supported each other.
Only with Bill Cosby.
They're even worse than guys are.
That's right.
Yeah.
Caddy.
Caddy.
The only time you're kumbaya is if Bill Cosby's been in the house and let you choose the blue one or the red one.
So I'm excited. And, but what is unique about Ladies Talk is the circle that we're building is a circle of empowerment. And
there's no duct tape in this.
And there's no duct tape. There's no duct tape involved.
But make sure you check out Ladies Talk tonight.
Ladies Talk tonight. Frenemies, and call in.
It's not a guy's show, but I do suggest guys listen because at least it'll give you a little bit of an open view into the woman's psyche.
Perspective.
Yeah, but I kept saying back in the day when me and my wife were building the radio station and we kept talking about The View, or I would bring up The View and she'd say, we need to do a Ladies Talk. And I'm like, the thing that I don't like is you got two big egos that are fighting for their attention on a television show. Mm-hmm. Then you have a producer that's taking a topic and telling you what you're supposed to talk about. And you got to read it from a teleprompter. And it's like, when are you going to get to see the real person talk? Yeah. With us, there's nothing scripted. I mean, Doc will come in with show notes to talk about a topic, but the topic still, it never really gets read off that piece of paper.
But it helps us flow, though. It helps us flow.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not scripted.
No, it's not scripted at all.
I can't stand scripted. When me and the people with the Discovery Channel had a little bit of a conversation about doing a reality show. And I said, listen, everything to do with me is real. There's no script. There's no pre-planned. If you're going to videotape us walking in somewhere, there's not going to be you go into the store and you already tell the owner we're coming in and you're standing over there videoing us coming in the door. You're going to be either walking behind us and we're walking in the store and you're getting first real reactions. Because I tell Doc every time when she tries to tell me something, I go, save it for the show, because you can't do it twice. It's never funny the second time. Real is real.
Well, I love you, Scotty. So I can't wait till tonight. Oh, and we need to go by Gravity because I got to pick up some Rico wine.
Okay.
I mean, we can drink.
I drank me and my wife drank the last bit that was in the fridge.
How you gonna drink the last bit of
because
wine?
You and me and what's her name?
But how you gonna drink up somebody else's wine in your house?
Hang on,
that didn't even sound right.
Yo, what's happening?
Hey,
who's
that girl that can give me insurance on my car, truck, and boat?
I will. Well, you're live, and I will send you her new number in just a few seconds.
Oh, okay. I remembered it was from somebody you had told me about.
Yep.
I didn't know who it was.
Yep. I will send. Her name is Karin, and the way she even explained it to me, it's like car in the driveway, car in. So I will send you Karin's number, and that way you can shout at her.
Okay, send it to me right now because I gotta do something. My crap ain't worth a flip where I'm at.
All right, man. I'm sending it to you right now.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. That's funny. And
I love it.
And what's funny is Andy Cagle. That's Andy Cagle from Now or Never Tattoo. It's so funny because we were having a conversation not too long ago while we were standing at Now or Never. And I basically said, yeah, like that time you called in. And he looks up. He's tattooing. He looks up at everybody and says, let me tell you something. If you call Scotty before 12 o'clock, just know it's probably going to be live.
Right.
He said, he tries to go off air at 10, but sometimes he might still be on at 11. He's like, so I'm telling you, if you call him, you be prepared to be live because you're going to speak and people are going to be laughing at you.
All right. So we got a boogie. Can we boogie on out?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sharing a number
but
right
wait
now.
a minute, Mr. DJ.
Ma'am, what?
Look,
because I know what you're fixing to ask for.
You don't even know what I'm going to ask for.
What song are we heading out on?
No, I wasn't going to ask that. I was going to say, would you like a Starbucks coffee? But since you played it like that, you played yourself. Now,
oh really?
Take us out.
Really? Because who? Oh, I don't have a car today, though. I was going to say, really? Because who's driving? And I just thought about it. Wait a minute.
I'm driving.
I have the car.
I'm driving.
I can't pull that driving Miss Lazy today. You's ready to go, Miss Lazy? Scotty will take you right where you needs to go.
Take us out of here.
I'll have to explain that to Kurt and when we get off air because I do this little prank and it's a
skit.
It's the opposite of Morgan Freeman driving Miss Daisy, and I call it driving Miss Lazy. And when I do it in front of people, it's such a shock. They don't know whether to be scared, pissed off, or laugh.
And they usually start, well, it actually started when we were at Shirley's Cutie Cakes. And because everywhere I go with my wife carries my bags. I'm used to having a bag carrier. I'm sorry. So Scotty's with me.
White guy.
So
Two black employees, black woman. I'm the only white guy in the building.
So I look at Scotty and I go, get my bags. And he starts picking them up. And he's like, and
hold on. And as I pick them up, I gotta stand up so you don't see me on video. I'm gonna make sure I get my stance right. So as I go to pick them up, I lean over like I got a humpback, and I'm like, "Okay, Miss Lazy, let me get your bags. Come on, Miss Lazy, let me get the dough for you. I got to go out there and get you the car because I don't want you to have to walk, Miss Lazy."
Wow.
And then I go to open the door. I'm like, hold on, Miss Lazy. Now, I don't need you hurrying and tripping over the curb. Come on, Miss Lazy. Let me get the code for you. Scotty be good cracker for you, boss. Just don't beat me no more. And people are looking at you they want to laugh, but they don't know whether to think it's offensive. But get the hell over it. Yeah. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious.
People take life so seriously.
They do.
Yeah. So, I mean, that.
But now, if that would have been Jim Carrey and them doing that on like,
that's my idol.
Living, whatever was it, Living Color.
Yeah.
I almost said In Living Color, which is a band. So, but like when they used to do that stuff, people just find it funny. But everybody believes because it's not on a stage. It's not supposed to be funny. But that is friggin'. Come on, Miss Lazy, let me just get the dough for you. We were walking at O'Charlie's and I did it, and you could see the girl who walks you to your seat was looking like, what the hell am I watching?
Right. It's like it's
kind of
like watching a train.
it too.
Yeah. And people actually watched that Periscope. Somebody came up to me yesterday in Loganville at the Walmart. I just got my hair done at Walmart. I get my hair done at Walmart.
I don't want to add. No, I'm not even going to ask.
So she goes to Walmart to get some milk, some dog food, a new pair of spandex, a haircut, a pedicure, and her eye examination.
All in one.
And then
she meets, of home.
That's right. She meets the guy around back for the gynecologist visit.
Oh, you're so bad. But the lady came up to me.
Now serving 13 behind the dumpster.
She goes, I saw your Periscope and she goes, you and DJ Scotty. She's like, that was so funny. And I'm thinking, okay, we've made it to Loganville. Yeah, yes.
But I mean, hell, we've already been to Loganville, but it's just funny that you got recognized in Loganville.
I know,
That's
yeah.
what's funny.
Yeah. So
I just love it. Come on, Miss Lazy, let's get moving.
All right, well, I need you to be a good DJ and take us out, please.
All right, Miss Lazy, what she wants to hear?
Oh, DJ, I want some of that country rap that you played yesterday. Can I get some country rap?
You can definitely get some country rap.
All right.
Code 4.
Doc had no idea.
I had no idea. So my wife goes, so after Scotty played that song yesterday, so whenever I hear a song that I like, it goes on repeat in my head.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I can't stand Scotty right now.
Oh, sure you can. Don't lie. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. It's Just Fun Radio in the morning. Thanks for tuning in.
Come back tonight, Ladies Talk with me and DJ Smile.
If you've missed anything, make sure you go home and rewatch it on YouTube. Hell, you don't even have to go home. You can actually go to YouTube, type in Just for Fun. That's the number 4. You already know this. Just for Fun Radio in your YouTube search engine. Find us. Watch any show, past, present. And future. I was going to say, if I tell you to watch the future, I need you to pick me a lotto number because I want to win. So anyways, we're going to get out of here. Everybody have a great day. It's Just for Fun in the morning. Here comes Cricket on the Line with Colt Ford. Then I got Happy by For Real. And then we got some John Anderson and Colt Ford just a swinging. So everybody hang tight. Remember, with us, we play a little bit of everything. So just watch out, man. Make sure you check out the show tonight. Thanks for coming in today, Kurt.
No
we're going to talk some more business with him when we get out of here. Have a good day, y'all. See y'all later.
Bye. See you tonight. And Denise is on her way.
My eyes.